Giants' leading receiver, averaging over 17 yards per catch. Butch Wolfup was the #1 draft pick by the Giants last year, and he hasn't disappointed anyone. Last week against the Redskins, he had just an outstanding day, rushing, blocking, and receiving. The Detroit Lions, embroiled in a quarterback controversy, will be quarterbacked by Eric Hipple. But no matter who's the quarterback, as long as number 20, Billy Sims, is involved as a receiver or as a runner, they can beat anybody. Coach Ray Perkins of the Giants says if we can stop Billy Sims, we can win. So for the first time ever, on Thanksgiving Day, it'll be the Giants against the Lions.
CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, the New York Giants against the Detroit Lions.
One of the great things about the Silverdome and all the indoor stadiums is it doesn't make any difference what the weather is outside. This morning it was down in the 20s. But inside the Silverdome, the site of last year's Super Bowl, it is just ideal. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I'm Pat Summerall. It's great to be back again, once again, with John Madden. We had some turkey last night. Hope you enjoyed yours today, and hope we don't furnish you with one on the football field today. The Lions and the Giants. They both played, of course, last Sunday. They've had limited preparation time. And John Madden, of course, has been on that coaching sideline so often. He, perhaps better than anyone else, except those involved, would know what it's like to play on Thanksgiving Day.
Well, it's something when you hear you have to play on Thanksgiving, you say, oh, no, you hate it. And then when you know you only have 2 days to get ready, 2 days of real practice, you don't like that. But if you win, you're really happy after because you get 10 days. And I think this year, I think that's very important.
John, we had a chance to talk both with Ray Perkins, the head coach of the Giants, and Monty Clark of the Detroit Lions yesterday about what kind of game they expect and what's going to happen today. And maybe we ought to get into that a little bit.
Well, they expect a much better game than last week. Both coaches were very disappointed with their teams. They said they better play better today. Now, Ray Perkins says that they have to stop Billy Sims. It's going to be tough today because Lawrence Taylor isn't starting at linebacker. Now, Monty Clark says his team has to play with precision. Last week, they were just out of sync. He said, we need precision, offense, defense, and special teams. That's it.
There, of course, is Monty Clark, the head coach of the Detroit Lions. Very outspoken and very disappointed yesterday as he spoke with us about his team's performance against the Chicago Bears. This is Danny Pittman taking Eddie Murray's kickoff. And let's check the lineups at this moment. The Giants on offense will start Scott Brunner. Butch Wolfup will be one of the runners. The others, Cliff Chapman. The wide receivers, Ernest Gray. And the favorite, as we mentioned before, Johnny Perkins. The offensive line, Benson, Ard, Humphrey at center, J.T. Turner. And perhaps, and it is, Gordon King, who suffered a hip pointer last week against the Redskins, but he's in action today. First down from the 25. This is Butch Wolfup. He'll have a first down and more. Stan White made the stop, and the boos already start from the Pontiac Silverdome. 18-yard pickup by Butch. He, of course, a big favorite here because he played collegiately at Michigan.
Giants don't run a lot of I formation. We see him here in the I formation. Starting with a lead to the inside, Wolfup takes it in, holds the defense, bounces to the outside, and of course there was a missed tackle by Hector Gray.
Mulledy in motion this time. This will be Cliff Chapman to the outside. The Lions are there quickly. Chapman nevertheless gets a couple. Let's look at the Lion defense. Dave Purifoy, number 75, left in. William Gay next to him. English on the right, along with their best pass rusher, Al Bubba Baker. The linebackers, Cobb, Fantetti in the middle. Stan White Number 52 on the right. The secondary is Smith, Hunter, Hall, and Gray. It'll be 2nd and 7 on Thanksgiving Day. The Giants at their own 47-yard line. Bruner on the draw play to Woolfolk. He is hit in the backfield by Doug English. He managed to perhaps drag for a yard. That's all. Passing situation coming up. Scott Bruner, a player against a father. John Bruner is the offensive backfield coach for the Lions, and his son, Scott Bruner, is the quarterback for the Giants.
I always felt that the toughest thing would be the parent of a quarterback watching the game. But when you're the parent and you're also the coach of the other team, that really has to be something.
It'll be a tough turkey on Thanksgiving for those two. Shotgun formation. Bruner steps up, fires, has Johnny Perkins. Perkins has a first down deep in Lion territory. Alvin Hall made the stop. A good throw from Bruner to Perkins.
Good pass protection on this play, but watch Perkins here. He gets by the initial bump. In fact, it turns into a double coverage, and watch it right there. He catches it right between the two defenders.
First down, Giants at the Lion 36. Giants 0-3. Lions 2-1. Woolfolk a couple down to about the 35. Again, Al Baker and Doug English on the tackle.
One of the interesting things here with the Giants offense is the fact that they're keeping two backs in the backfield most of the time for their running. They had gone to the single back, and now they have two backs all the time, Woolfolk and Chapman. And, they started the I formation, which is a little different for them.
2nd and 8. Perkins swings in motion. He and Ernest Gray will operate on the left together. Bruner throws. In the middle of tough coverage, Gary Cobb comes up with the interception. Into the double. Intended for Perkins. Cobb comes up with it, and the Lions have the football.
There's Gary Cobb. He's one of the best athletes on this Lion team. We see him back here now. Bruner was looking to the outside, and he threw in to what amounted to double coverage. He really had his fullback, Cliff Chapman, free to the outside.
So the first turnover belongs to the Lions, and most particularly to Gary Cobb, their fine linebacker.
If you want it,
I like it.
if you really like it,
I really like it.
we can help you get it. We're GMAC.
We want it.
GMAC Financing.
If you want that new GM car or truck, GMAC offers the convenience of one-stop shopping with rates that make good sense. Right here at your GM dealer.
Now at participating GM dealers, get low 10.9 financing on new 82 models.
We got it.
How'd your kid like to get behind the wheel of a 10-ton truck? This comes mighty close. US 1 Electric Trucking. It's got two tough, hard-working trucks that he controls. Load the truck, then move out down the highway. Slow down, shift into reverse, and dump them. Then hitch that big flatbed. Get that load. Get her on the road and let her go. Loading, hitching, hauling, dumping. US 1 Electric Trucking for your kid by Tyco, of course.
The Lion offensive backs and receivers, Eric Hipple, the quarterback, Billy Sims and Dexter Bussey, both dangerous in the backfield. Leonard Thompson and the doctor, Freddie Scott, the wide receiver. Up front, Baldeschweiler, Homer Elias. Amos Fowler is the center, Bollinger, Dorney, their best offensive lineman, and David Hill, the tight end. 1st and 10 from the 40 for Detroit, no score. Happy Thanksgiving. Eric Hipple. Option on first down, and Hipple to about the 45, a pickup of about 5. Beasley Reese knocked him out of bounds.
Let's watch this interception, the last play. Now here's Cobb, who'll intercept the ball. He drops straight back with the tight end. The fullback comes out, and he's in the backfield. Bruner should have read the linebacker here and thrown out here. Now watch, you see him stop back, start back. Now stop. See, here was the back out here all by himself.
It looks easy when you diagram it, John. And he was open. Second down to Billy Sims. And the fleet one might be off to the races. Harry Carson drags him down at the Giant 35. Billy Sims. He can motor. 22 yards for Billy.
One of the things that Monty Clark was talking about is precision on the offensive line. And I think on this play, we'll see some precision. We see number 73, the right guard pull. He really didn't get anyone there, but that was all they needed. Saw Brian Kelly come across and miss, and then finally Harry Carson got there.
And as Ray Perkins said, in order to beat Detroit, the one thing we have to do is to stop number 20. They haven't done it yet. He's only carried once. First down, Detroit. The Giant 36 and fast. Billy will go again. About 8. Curtis McGriff took him down. Let's look at the Giant defense. Curtis McGriff plays against the run when they expect it. Martin against the pass. Bill Neal is the nose tackle and Dee Hardison the defensive right end. The linebackers. What a crew. Van Pelt, Kelly, Carson. But a key man is missing. Lawrence Taylor is not there. Byron Hunt has replaced him. In the secondary, Haynes, Jackson, Reese, and Courier. Sims got 8 at 2nd and 2. Sims once more to the other side. First down, Lions. Van Pelt. The first man in white to hit him, but Billy Sims very effective. But maybe not so effective. He gets up slowly.
I think Billy Sims is one of those running backs that always gets up slowly. Remember how Jim Brown used to do that?
I sure do.
Think you had him. We got him. We got him.
We heard him.
We heard him.
And the next day, the next play, he went for 60.
The defense is in the huddle, all congratulating themselves.
Yeah. First down, Detroit. Giant 24. No score. 10 minutes left first quarter. Lions on the move. Billy Sims once more. We'll find out pretty quickly if he's in shape or not. Brian Kelly hit him that time. Limping off is Dee Hardison, the defensive right end for the Giants, replaced by Phil Tabor.
Of course, Dee Hardison was replacing Gary Jeter. Let's see if we can see Hardison here. I bet he got hurt the play before that. You see him, Pat? He looked like he pulled up just as he started into pursuit.
Either that or he stepped on a line. Second down 10. No gain on the play. Phil Tabor, number 80. Penalty marker down. 30-second clock ran out, and the Lions will move back, and the fans don't give thanks.
Delay of game, 17 offense, second down.
They called the delay on number 17, who is already embroiled in an unpopular situation here in Detroit. That's Eric Hipple. Tom Dooley is the referee. There is Stan White, the director of the defense, and highly ranked in the NFL Players Association.
Director of a lot of things.
The Lions' record on Thanksgiving Day, perhaps not as good as many people thought. Hipple over the head of Sims. Hipple under heavy pressure. Bill Courier and Tabor close to him.
You know, that's one of the unfair things. One, of course, is, when there's too much time, they always give the penalty to the quarterback. But on that last play, he gets that penalty against him. Then on the last play, the safety, Bill Courier, came on a blitz from the outside. He wasn't touched by anyone, and Hipple had to rush the pass and take a heck of a jolt.
So it'll be 3rd and 15 at the Giant 29 with 9:09 left first quarter. Billy Sims and Dexter Bussey behind Eric Hipple, who has to throw. This time he has time. And he overthrows David Hill. And again, the boos come from this crowd at the Silver Dome. Heavy rush by George Martin.
Now watch George Martin. He comes from the right-hand side of the screen. See here, they get in a little match. He comes off. Now watch, just as Hipple's throwing, boom! There's big George Martin on him. You know, it's tough to throw like that. That's like throwing out of a tunnel while you're looking out your ear hole.
From 46 yards out with Hipple holding will be Eddie Murray. Interesting story about the Lion kickers. He's got a good stance coming into it. He also has a pretty good kick. 3-0 Detroit from 46 yards out is Murray. And the Lions break on top. And for the moment, it's a happy Thanksgiving Day for them. Eddie Murray, one of the best young kickers around.
We are USA 1, taking charge, utilizing advanced engine technology in the front-wheel drive Cavalier with a new high-compression electronically fuel-injected 2-liter engine, an available 5-speed transmission, and a new lower price. Chevrolet's going to give the imports competition they haven't seen before. The new Cavalier from America's sales leader, USA 1, is taking charge.
Let me see that. It's gold, Edith. Rich! Hey, hold it! This calls for something special. I'm gonna buy me a new pair of lizard boots. Stroh's beer. Stroh's beer! Not so loud. Howdy! You say Stroh's beer? See what I mean?
From one beer lover to another Stroh's.
The Lions' scoring drive after the interception by Cobb culminated by the 46-yard field goal by Murray. He'll kick off right now, high and deep, and again it'll be Danny Pittman. This time from the 2. Out of bounds at about the 28. Football on Thanksgiving is, of course, a long-time tradition, and so is football on CBS on Sunday. And this Sunday, it'll be Philadelphia at Washington, Green Bay at the Jets, Chicago at Minnesota, St. Louis, Atlanta, and New Orleans. The surprising Saints against the defending Super Bowl champion 49ers. By the way, the Jets All-Pro defensive end injured. Joe Klecko will be in our studio to talk about that big one. Ernest Gray from Gooner. About 5, maybe 6. Wayne Smith knocked him out of bounds.
This is a good type of first down pass. We see Wayne Smith is given a cushion there. Gray just breaks off about 5 yards, catches it in front of. Now that, you use those type of passes sometimes in lieu of runs where you can pick up 5 or 6 yards.
It changes the whole complexion of what you have to do now.
I think the 49ers did an outstanding job of that last year.
2nd and 4, Brunner to Woolfolk. And he's going to have it. Well, he had an opening for a moment. Gary Cobb and company closed it down in a hurry. Over on the Detroit bench, the rest of the Lions.
That's that offensive line. You ever notice on a bench, the offensive linemen always sit together? Always do that. They're in meetings all week together. Their lockers are right next to each other. And then during the game, they always sit in a little group.
And you notice, too, John, they always look at each other. The defensive people don't look at each other.
No, they're back taking drinks of water and stuff. But those guys are always talking to each other.
Scott Brunner. 3rd down, very short. Woolfolk got the first down, hit first by Gary Cobb. But the Giants move outside their own 40. They trail 3-0, 7:48 left in the first quarter. Silverdome, Detroit, Pat Summerall with John Madden. Brunner last week in the loss to the Redskins, 14 out of 28, 1 interception and a 1 touchdown to Johnny Perkins, who comes out wide to the right. Gray goes to the left. First down throw. Gray. 7. Another good first downer.
Now, I like to see this with the Giants throwing on first down. Remember last week we thought that maybe they didn't do enough of this. We see Ernest Gray here. He's running and out. Again, he has a cushion on that side. It looks like the Detroit defensive backs on first down are laying off and letting the Giants have that 5, 6, 7 yards in front of them.
Ray Perkins said yesterday that he had listened to our broadcast, so maybe he adopted some of your theories. 2nd and 3. Butch Wolford. Look out. To the Lion 35. The Giants are behind, but they're moving 17 yards.
Let's watch this now. It was we see the blocking here in the line. Good block by the left guard. Good block by Humphrey. Now, that play was supposed to go to the right, strong side. Butch Woolfolk could see. He cut back to the left and found a soft spot in the defense.
Lions have a player injured back at midfield. That left guard is Billy Ard. And Billy Ard, the Giants' offensive left guard, number 67, is developing into a very fine lineman. 3-0. The Lions lead, but the Giants are on the move.
We are USA 1. Taking charge by unleashing a Chevrolet the competition can't touch. Camaro. Flat outselling every other 2+2 sports coupe on the road today. And now Camaro is led by a new standard 5-speed 5-liter Z28. The hot-selling Chevy Camaro. It still leaves everything but its shadow behind. USA 1 is taking charge.
Paulatuck, the Arctic Circle. The winters can be 10 months long and 50 below. So people stay home and watch a lot of TV. Maybe that's why the Takiak family chose the only TV to win an Emmy for its beautiful picture, the Sony Trinitron. But maybe the Takiaks chose a Sony because the nearest TV repairman is 250 miles away.
That could be, if indeed it takes the rest of the day away from Gary Cobb, a very crucial loss to the Lions. He is their leading tackler, as you saw. 4-year pro from USC and a fine athlete.
And Monty Clark was saying that probably is one of the best athletes on the team. He's a great tackler, good speed, bright player.
It is Perkins out of your picture at the bottom. It is Woolfolk with the ball. About 4. And Harrell, who just entered the contest, made the stop.
You know, one of the things we see the Giants running strong side most of the time, strong side being to the tight end. The Lions are one of the few teams left that run a 4-man line, but then they overshifted or undershifted. Most of the time they're shifting their line towards the weak side, and the Giants are running to the strong side.
They say 3 for Butch Woolfolk, so it's 2nd and 7. And Woolfolk comes in motion. Brunner goes to throw. He has time for his tight end, Mullity. Lions had it well covered as Harrell and Alvin Hall both were back with the tight end. Brunner looks over to the sideline after every play because Ray Perkins, by a series of multiple signals, sends in the plays to his quarterback.
Let's take a look at that under defense that we were talking about. We can see right here that the man over the center, and then we see the tackle here and the end here, they are all on the weak side. So the Giants are attacking this side, running to the strong side.
Right now, Brunner throws, steps up into the pocket and overthrows Mullity. The intended receiver was covered again once again by Alvin Hall. So, Danilo has the strength to get it there, and number 18, Joe Danilo, comes in to attempt, and Brunner will hold. So, of course, when he's in that position, there is always the possibility of a fake field goal or some sort of unusual dance. It'll be 49 yards out. Great place to kick, artificial turf, no wind. Kickers look for all those things, you know. Wide left. Plenty far enough. And now, of course, they bring it back to the original line of scrimmage. And the Lions stop the Giant thrust, and they will take over 1st and 10 at their own 32.
Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge. With the all-new S10 Maxi Cab, Ford Ranger and Toyota don't even have one. Taking charge of people space with available seating for 4. Compared to Datsun's extended cab, Maxi Cab has up to 40% more load space. Available V6 power you can't get in Ford Ranger or the import trucks. S10 Maxi Cab from America's truck sales leader. Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge.
Celebrate Thanksgiving's here.
I want the drumstick.
Celebrate the season's cheer.
Merry Christmas.
Say it with J. Roger and have a ball. Celebrate occasions big.
Happy New Year.
Celebrate occasions small.
Happy January 2nd.
J. Roger, you can celebrate even nothing at all.
No matter what the occasion, nothing says it like J. Roger champagne. Cheers. On CBS Sports, the NCAA basketball season returns as defending national champion North Carolina musters memories of victory to face Missouri Saturday on CBS Sports.
That'll be from the Checker Dome in St. Louis. Billy Packer and Gary Bender. North Carolina against Missouri. Missouri has been a real rising basketball power, and of course, North Carolina has been. Not just rising, they've been for a long, long time. First down, Detroit. Billy Sims.
We see Gary Cobb there. The report is that he has a sprained knee, and it's questionable whether he'll be back. I don't think he will be. When they start taking off their tape, that usually means that's it for the day.
Especially if your knees hurt and you take the tape off your ankles.
Right. That means that's it.
That means, Gary, we won't see number 53 anymore. I don't think. It'll be 2nd and 6. Billy Sims moving up on 3,000 yards in his career. And moving much closer. Outside the 40. Hit down by Phil Tabor. Replaced D. Hardison.
This is an interesting thing. You see the quarterback, Eric Hipple, 17 there. See this left wristband? You see that little white sticking out under the wristband? They have plays in there. And he has short yardage plays written there, goal line plays, and long yardage plays against the nickel. They give him the number, and he looks at the sheets.
So it's short yardage now, 3rd and 1. It's Billy Sims with a carry. He's got it. And Sims now has over 3,000 yards for his career, his brief career as a Lion. 3,005, in fact. It's a Lion first down. They only have 4 other backs who have gained in the history of the Lions, which goes back to 1934. Backs who have gained over 3,000 yards. And there are some illustrious names. Dexter Bussey, the leader, Altie Taylor, Nick Pietrasante, Mel Farr, and now Billy Sims is over that 3,000 mark. 1st and 10, Detroit at their own 46. Eric Hipple to throw. That's his first completion. And it goes to that magic number 20, Billy Sims, by Brad Van Pelt, the tackler, but he moves to midfield at least, and perhaps on the Giant side of that big Lion insignia.
You know, as we look there at Billy Sims, we remember he was one of the players that held out during training camp. He missed the entire training camp and preseason, signed just before the first regular season game, played the 2 games, and then, of course, Monty Clark thinks that the strike may have helped Billy Sims.
He thinks that Billy's in better shape than the other folks now. We'll see. It sure looks like it. Beasley Reese had to come up and make the stop on number 20.
It also looks like Monty really believes what he was saying, because he's working this guy today, isn't he?
Nobody else has carried the ball yet. 3rd and very short. 2:45 left first quarter. Lions leading 3-0. 46-yard field goal by Eddie Murray. Maxie Baum directs the defense. That's Ed Kayat with his back to you. Maxie Baum, of course, a great linebacker in his playing days with Georgia Tech and at Philadelphia. That should be enough for a Billy Sims first down. Curtis McGriff made the stop. There's Big Money.
Monty sends in the plays. We can see him calling one now. He's talking to Ted Marchibroda, who is up in the press box, talking to Monty. Then Monty sends a play in with one of the players. The reason there's a delay now is he doesn't know whether he has a first down or not when they're going to mark it.
You know, John, we're talking about as they measure the father-son combination between the Bruners. Here, of course, Monty Clark has a son who's a quarterback in the NFL with San Francisco, Brian
Clark. He's done an outstanding job there. He was a quarterback at Michigan State. Lions do have the first down. Monty said, there's John Bruner right there on the right, just going out of the screen. There we see him. He's talking to number 32. But Monty says, you know, someday I may have that situation. That'll be a little tougher than John being the head coach against my son.
It was interesting, too. He said yesterday when they were drafting, the Lions had Brian Clark rated very highly, too. And he was sort of relieved when the 49ers took him. First down, Sims again, the ball carrier. Billy Sims to about the 41. Once again, it's Brad Van Pelt who leads the Giant tacklers.
There's a Detroit coaching booth right there. That's Mel Phillips. He used to be a defensive back with the San Francisco 49ers.
Always had a broken arm.
Always had a broken arm, sometimes two. I remember when he played with a cast on each arm. To his right is Ted Marchibroda.
Of course, Ted, I played with the pros, and he played his collegiate football right here at the University of Detroit. Here is Dexter Bussey. And Dexter gets to about the 38-yard line. So it'll be third and about 4. It depends on where they mark it for Dexter.
And Billy Sims is out. He's on the sidelines now, in case anyone's wondering why he didn't carry the ball. Maybe Monty Clark decides that they'd worked him pretty regularly there early, and then they give him a little break so he'll be fresh later.
Monty Clark standing there alongside John Bruner. It'll be third and 5. It's Dexter Bussey and Rick Kane, the two Lion runners, but Hipple will try to put it up. Once again, he has to hurry, and once again, it's over the head of David Hill, and this time even Eddie Murray can't get it there. We'll see the other Lion kicker who walked out early in the year, Tom Skladany.
See, the fans don't like that. They're booing and they're calling for Gary Danielson.
Skladany averaging just under 37 yards per kick. This one is probably not going to help his average as he's standing at his own 45. And he can't really let it out. Leon Bright standing back at about 7. Counting what's going on. The Giants not trying to block this one. They're going to try to set up a return. Skladany away from Bright. Has it bounce out of bounds at about the 11, call it 12-yard line, where the Giants will take over first and 10. Only a 27-yard kick by Skladany. With 29 seconds left to play at the Silverdome in Detroit on this Thanksgiving Day, it's the Lions 3, the Giants nothing.
Change velocity ratio.
When General Motors talks about fuel economy, it isn't just a lot of wind. Although wind is involved, aerodynamics are tested here in 50-mile-an-hour winds because less wind resistance means more miles per gallon. This has helped GM double fuel economy since 1974.
That's a fact, and not just a lot of wind.
We're living up to our commitment. Right now, today, we're the best GM ever.
If you care about your pictures, you'll flip over Kodak paper. Because for a good look on the front, it helps to have Kodak paper on the back. Kodak paper. It's the only paper to flip over. So to help your pictures look their best, come to a store that cares enough to use Kodak paper.
And you'll flip.
Just ask for Kodak paper where you see this sign. And start flipping.
More football coming up on Sunday. Happy Thanksgiving, but Sunday on CBS, Philadelphia at Washington, the unbeaten Redskins. Green Bay at the Jets, the unbeaten Packers, and that ought to be a honey. Chicago at Minnesota. St. Louis at Atlanta, the Falcons coming back in a hurry, and New Orleans and San Francisco. Great lineup this Sunday on CBS. Wherever you might be. Here is Brunner again on first down, firing Mulledy. Nothing doing. To break it up very quickly is Ken Fantetti. Looks like the Giants have made up their minds that at least going into the game, we're going to put it up in the air on first down.
Giants. We look here, look at the success of the Giants this year in '82. Of the yardage they've gained, 71% of it has been passing, and only 28.8 has been running. So the Giants are now a passing team.
It is hard to live that way and get in the playoffs. 2nd and 10, draw play Wolford. Out to about the 14, perhaps. Again, it's Fantetti on the bottom of the pileup. Number 57. Not spectacular, but very reliable.
Let's watch number 57, Fantetti there. He sees the draw, he steps right up, so there's no cutback. See, the first thing he did was take away the cutback of Woolfolk and force him to run into that under.
End of quarter number 1 with Detroit leading 3-0 over the Giants, and they'll swap into the field.
We are USA 1. And number 1 is taking charge in high technology transportation. With some of the highest mileage numbers in cars like the diesel Chevette. Taking charge in 4-wheel drive with new S10 Blazers and pickups. And the versatile Chevy Citation, Chevrolet, America's sales leader, is taking it to the limit. USA 1 is taking charge.
Some special Christmas gifts from Radio Shack.
You like that mouse, huh? When my daughter saw the Petable Portables at Radio Shack, she fell in love with them. They're cuddly animals with a radio inside. There's a lovable cat, a Pekingese, a raccoon, and a white terrier, a country mouse, and a chow dog. A special gift for a very special little girl.
The Petable Portable Radios, $12.95 to $15.95. Only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
Business. To be in the picture, you gotta be good.
Good and fast, like Canon's NP300F. 30 letter-sized copies a minute.
You gotta give and take.
Canon's 300F gives you reduction and document feeding. Even sorts it all out with optional sorter.
In today's leaner, trimmer business picture,
you need the good stuff.
And nothing but the Canon NP300F. Call toll-free for information or see your authorized Canon dealer.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is USA 1, and USA 1 is taking charge. And by Radio Shack, the nationwide supermarket of sound.
Silverdome in Detroit, 3rd and 7 for the Giants. Pat Summerall with John Madden. We had a good Thanksgiving dinner last night. We hope you had a good one today. Or having. Shotgun formation. And the Lions try to put some heat on, but Missler from Brunner will make it a first down Giants. Good throw from Scott. 15-yard pickup.
The Lions came on a regular rush that time. They just brought their 4 defensive linemen. Last week against Chicago, they had a lot of blitzing. In fact, they had 7 sacks. And I thought we'd see more blitzing today.
We watched them work on it yesterday. 1st and 10 Giants at their own 30. They trail 3-0. Here is Butch Woolfolk spinning to the outside. He did well to get back to the line of scrimmage. Stan White, the first man to make contact. Unique individual, Stan White. He calls the defenses himself. Very rare these days.
You know, he's looking at Maxie Baughan on the sideline only to see if he wants a regular defense or a blitz. Now, Stan White is the outside right linebacker, calls the defenses in the huddle, and makes all the adjustments on the line of scrimmage. Perkins from Bruner, 48-yard line, another first down. Giants 19-yard pickup. Hector Gray, who has replaced Ray Oldham, made the tackle. One thing, I think if the Giants stay with the passing, that they can wear this defensive team down to the Lions. We see the receiver here. It's against the zone. He gets by the first bump and catches it in front of the second guy. Johnny Perkins did.
Johnny Perkins has developed into one of the outstanding receivers in the NFL. Early in his career, he had problems, but that's all gone. Cliff Chapman, no gain. By William Gay. Cobb over on the sideline. We thought it was his knee. It looks like it is his knee and his ankle.
And his ankle. He has a lot of ice on there. Of course, the first thing they try and do is get ice. You see he has an ice pack on his left ankle and then an ice pack on his left knee. They'll probably take him in and check it at halftime.
I'll be back.
You heard him say, "I'll be back." I doubt it.
Not today.
2nd and 10. Lions fake a blitz, and in doing so, they jump offside.
Or encroach.
Encroach, that's right. Sorry. That's just as serious.
Let's see if Tom Dooley tells us if that's offsides on the defense or encroachment by the defense.
You know, John, I think, based on our time over the last few years, I think the referees like to say encroachment more than they like offside.
They like it, yeah. Offsides is old. Encroachment is new and in. I bet it's encroachment.
Encroachment, defense, second down.
They love it.
2nd down, 5.
2nd and 5 at the 36.
Brunner Wolfel. Hit by Fanchetti. A yard, perhaps. Make it 3rd and 4. Ray Perkins with his magic signals.
We were talking to Ray about those signals last night, and we said we thought we had a couple of them. And he went over some of them with us, and he said, you know, after you do this for a while, he says, you can have an entire conversation with a quarterback just with signals.
Shotgun formation, 3rd down. They need 2. High snap, Brunner handles. Throws to Perkins. Perkins fumbles. And the Lions recover. Detroit has the football. Perkins had the first down, but James Hunter comes up with the ball. 2 turnovers by Giants, and the Lions have taken advantage of both of them.
Tell you, Scott Brunner did everything he had to do on that play. That was a perfect pass. Let's watch it again here. From the shotgun, the Giants are doing a good job of pass protection. Brunner has good time, finds Perkins, hits him right there. Beautiful between 2 defenders. Perkins never did get the ball away. Did you see it? It was swinging on his right side, hit, and it bounced out.
So the Lions take over, leading 3-0. The Giants have moved, but not on the scoreboard.
Create a car to conquer the wind. A car that lets you slip off the commonplace and experience driving excitement as never before. The Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. Sit here and learn firsthand how Firebird conquers the wind and the world. Pontiac, we build excitement.
If you want the agent who gives you good neighbor service on your car, home, life, and health insurance, check with State Farm.
I'm State Farm agent Carl Cox. What sets State Farm apart is no secret. It's that good neighbor service State Farm is famous for. With State Farm, you have affordable protection that respects your budget. One agent who can do it all. Life, health, home, and car insurance. And just one number to call for that good neighbor service. Check with State Farm.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The Lions take advantage of the turnover, and they get possession of the football. Eric Hipple, the quarterback. We talked earlier about the controversy involving Hipple and Gary Danielson. And Hipple so far has had a tough day, although his team leads 3-0. First down throw this time. The day got better. Leonard Thompson. Thompson in Giant territory to the 45. Harry Carson back to pick it up. 31-yard gain. It's easier to throw on first down these days.
It's just so much easier because you're not getting a rush. Now watch this. The defense is playing run. You see them, they're all up there. Now Hipple has plenty of time. Terry Jackson gives a pretty big cushion over here. Then comes up, misses a tackle right there, and lets Leonard Thompson get about 5 more yards.
Mark Nichols is in the game. Billy Sims got hit in the backfield by Terry Jackson, maintained his balance and got back to pick up perhaps a yard.
I think Terry Jackson was upset. Gave too big a cushion, missed the tackle. He said, I'm going to get him this time.
That's Ray Oldham, who has a pulled hamstring. He normally would be starting, number 23.
He's telling Stan White, he says, you were holding him like it's good. It was good, Stan. You held him. You held good, guy.
Terry Jackson, who made that hit in the backfield. It'll be 2nd and 9. Line of scrimmage, the Giant 45. Hipple will throw. Giants have a blitz. Hipple hits Nichols. Across the middle. Minimal gain, about 4. Beasley Reese had it read perfectly. There's a man who last year made the Giants a contender. Lawrence Taylor. Unable to play today, an all-NFL selection last year, Rookie of the Year in almost every situation. It'll be 3rd and 5, and Taylor has a bad knee. Nichols out wide to the right. Leonard Thompson to the left. Hipple to throw. Blitz on by the Giants. Hipple looking and Hipple going. He'll have the first down. Eric Hipple to about the 33. Harry Carson knocked him out of bounds.
Now they're cheering Hipple. When they do something well, they cheer him. Let's watch what Hipple sees now. He was really trying to throw deep. He was looking down deep. Now he sees a lane. You see that lane? He steps up in it, tries to throw again, can't. Finds another lane, which is now a running lane for a first down before Harry Carson gets over there.
At the 32-yard line of the Giants, the Lions break it out. Billy Sims will be the lone setback. Double tight ends for the Lions on the right side. They go behind that. Now they run the reverse, and they got some room. Hipple with a good block. Penalty marker down. They're going to call clipping on Eric Hipple. The play goes down inside the 5, but they'll bring it back. Terry Jackson was the victim.
That'll be interesting to see if that, in fact, is a clip.
I didn't think it was.
And I think Billy Sims was hurt on the play. He's limping also. Hipple's upset because they say he clipped. Had a great play, but they're going to have to bring it back.
Hipple coming up to talk to the official. I didn't think it was a clip as I saw it happen live.
I didn't either, but sometimes the official doesn't see the start of the play. He just sees the end, and he says, there's no way a quarterback can block a linebacker. It has to be a clip.
Tom Dooley.
They called a clip, Tom. That's what it was.
Holding, 17 offense, first down.
Holding. Ooh, let's take a look at that. Because I didn't think it was a clip. You can see the climb that. Now watch the quarterback. See, they start their hands to Sims. Now right in the right-hand part of the screen. Right there, you see the block. I guess he must have reached his right hand out.
He must have. Hipple looking downfield, throwing. He misses. Billy Sims covered by Harry Carson coming across the middle. Interesting in our conversations with the head coaches yesterday, one of them said he felt that Eric Hipple had read the defenses very well last week against the Bears. The other one said he felt he had trouble reading the defense. I will tell you, complete. The officials say it is complete.
Had that ball been thrown out there in front of him, now they're saying it's incomplete, Pat. Now they're saying no. Let's watch Dexter Bussey here. He's coming out. Now here's number 10, Van Pelt. He's man-to-man. See, he grabbed at him, let him go. Now the ball was thrown short. He turns, he catches it, he has it. And the official said that the ball hit the ground, and they brought it back. There it is at another angle. Yeah, it did look loose under there, didn't it?
He was juggling and fumbling around with it. But as you said, John, if the ball had been thrown where he didn't have to come back, that would have been 6. 3rd and 17. Here's Hipple. And down he goes, and finally he unloads. George Martin is the man who wrapped him up right at the end. And once again, it'll be Spladany and not Murray.
How many times as we watch Eric Hipple walk off the field here have you seen in one half a play a quarterback be penalized twice?
I think never.
I don't think I did either.
Spladany's one punt was from exactly the same spot, his own 45. In the other direction, of course, that doesn't matter here because there's no wind, not inside. This is another one of those that won't help the punter's average. Very misleading, those statistics. You read about what kind of day people had.
They're going for a block.
Leon Bright is not even deep. Nobody deep. And now they'll back it up. They take too much time. Giants don't have to take this. They can refuse this penalty.
They had a special block on that time, Pat. As you said, they had no deep return man back there, and they were going to come on a 10-man rush. And then I think when the Lions saw that, I think they just decided to take too much time. The Giants do take the penalty.
Delay of game, offense, 4th down.
So they move Spladany back to his own 41-yard line now.
Why do they do that on kicking? They say delay a game offense, and when it's the offense, they say delay a game quarterback. Something not right there, huh?
That has to do with the quarterbacks making more money than anybody else, I guess. Once again, they don't have anybody deep. I think that's a mistake. They down it at the 8. A 28-yard punt by Spladany and no return. Ray Perkins sends his quarterback back in. Detroit 3, the Giants nothing.
Have you driven the Total Car?
Introducing a totally new Ford LTD. Reshaped. Refined. Redesigned. Inch by aerodynamic inch. From the ground up. The totally new Ford LTD. The Total Car.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Bill Hotshot Stewart hasn't seen his high school teammates for 20 years. Looks like a stroll-light night.
Looks like a stroll-light night. Looks like a stroll-light night. When things are going right. Looks like a stroll-light night. Looks like a
Stroll-Light, a great-tasting beer that doesn't fill you up.
Looks like a stroll-light night when good times come along.
Thanksgiving weekend on CBS Sports. Tomorrow, Oklahoma and Nebraska battle for the Big 8 crown. Saturday, it's Notre Dame against USC. College football on CBS Sports.
You talk about high-powered offense and fast running backs. The Sooners against the Huskers. They'll put some points on the board and some yards on the field. And then Saturday, Notre Dame against USC, and your friend John Madden, John Robinson, has decided to call it a day. Bruner to Perkins. 6 perhaps.
Yeah, John has decided to call it a day and a season and a career, and he's going into administration at USC. He's had a great career. He's going to be on at halftime today.
I understand. John, have to ask you this. Of course, there's a lot of speculation and a lot of rumor, I suppose, that John Robinson might go into pro coaching. You think so?
I don't think so, especially if he stays in football in some capacity. I don't think he'll ever go in pro football.
Cliff Chapman takes the handoff from Brunner. Gets out to about the 25, about 2 yards short of a first down. Stopped by Al Baker.
He does, and he gets one of those encroachment things. We saw him on the sidelines, and he looks like he was really anxious to get in there. You know, great players want to play all the time, not stand on the sidelines. And when he did, he started a little before the Detroit team decided to snap the ball.
They'll walk off 5 against the Giants. Make it 2nd and 5.
That's the first for the Giants.
Defense, 2nd down.
That's the first penalty for the Giants today. Detroit has had 4.
Mr. Dooley set 2nd down. I think it's 1st down. It is. Billy Sims rolls behind the left side of the offensive line. Harry Carson stacked him up. But Baldischweiler and company on the left side did a good cave-in job on the Giants.
You know, it's interesting, the Giants just hold it. Of course, when they run away from you, then you can hit and boom, you're off and down into the hole.
Billy Sims got the first down for Detroit. And the Lions move deeper into the Giant territory. Line of scrimmage will be the 43. 42 make it. 5:57 left first half. 46-yard field goal by Murray, the only scoring. Thompson, Nichols, both split wide to the right. Tight end David Hill to the left. Dexter Bussey and Billy Sims shift around. This is Dexter. Bussey bounces and then bowls his way down for about 5 yards. Lawrence Taylor made the stop.
Hey, the Detroit Lions are doing a good job. Let's just watch Lawrence Taylor here. You see, he's starting from the outside. He looks like his knee's okay. You know, he makes the tackle there. He's not moving too tentatively, but he's not moving like Lawrence Taylor either that we know.
Last year, of course, he was devastating. He intimidated everybody. Now they say you have to keep somebody in front of him, and here is Dexter Bussey again. Very close to a first down. Harry Carson, this time the stop. Interesting, John, that the defense really was given credit for the Giants being in the playoffs last year. And now this year, the defense, something is gone.
Well, as we see here, last year they were 4th against the rush. This year they're 13th against the rush. You know, one thing about being a second-year guy, we're talking about Lawrence Taylor, you know, sometimes they have that thing they call a sophomore jinx, but you know what it is? The first year, they don't know anything. They just react and play on instinct. Then they get that deal, that little knowledge. They know a little, then they start to think too much, and they don't react like they did. I think Lawrence Taylor may be going through a little of that. Plus, he's had some injuries.
He even says that himself. He says, I'm just not playing with the same kind of, I know it's an old cliche, but the reckless abandon that I did last year. I'm thinking too much. I know too much. I understand too much. Sounds like, looks like there's a lot to understand.
Spent a lot of time in that huddle talking about it.
Must be a pass. 1st and 10. From the 32. Billy Sims almost broke it. Beasley Reese had to make the stop. And anytime you say the safety man makes the tackle, you know you got some yards on offense.
You know what's always impressed me about Billy Sims is he really does have, you know, he'll run inside and outside, and he's an explosive guy. Let's watch Lawrence Taylor. Starts to the outside, has to come in, but Billy Sims burst through there for 6 yards before anyone got there.
13 carries, 69 yards for number 20, 2nd and 4. Sims and Bussey behind Hipple. Hipple looking for the corner. Nichols. Almost. Mark Haynes back there with him. There may be better cornerbacks around than Mark Haynes, but there aren't many.
And that was a true test of a cornerback, man-to-man, no help on a deep pattern. Let's watch it here from the end zone. You see Hipple going back. He looks to the left and then throws the deep one out here to Mark Nichols, who was a #1 draft choice of the Lions a year ago. And right back there with him is Mark Haynes. Got a little hand on the ball. Little Mark versus Mark.
Good plays and good efforts by both. Third down. And 5, and Hipple will have to throw. Giants on a blitz. Hipple to Hill, behind him. He had a step. Courier broke it up.
Hipple's pass intended.
You know, the Lions are really moving the ball well. It's just a consistency thing. You know, they have good running with Sims. You know, and Hipple is hitting his receivers, and then they just can't put drives together.
4th and 5 from the Giants.
Hipple is 3 out of 11. He will hold now for Eddie Murray. This attempt,
Murray will attempt
43 yards or thereabouts. 44 make it. Ray Perkins said, I'll bet you at some point they try a fake field goal. This won't be it. Murray again is true. And it's 6-0 Lions. Happy Thanksgiving once again. Detroit leads the Giants 6-0 and 3:25 left in the first half.
This amazing innovation from Subaru overcomes 2 problems: bad weather and the hassle of shifting gears. It combines the extra measure of safety and traction of on-demand 4-wheel drive with the ease of an automatic transmission. Now there's 4-wheel drive anybody can drive. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
There's a hungry kind of feeling, and every day it grows. You know there's so much more to you than anybody knows.
In the Army, we do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day.
Hey, First Sergeant. Good morning.
'Cause we need you in the Army.
Thursday, a 3-hour special holiday treat. Walt Disney's Academy Award-winning hit, Mary Poppins.
Eddie Murray has field goals of 44 and 46 yards. And that's the scoring. The Lions lead 6-0. Murray about to kick off. Spinning kick goes to Larry Heater at the 3-yard line. Heater to the 26, and the Giants will take over there. This Sunday, once again, the matchup between the Eagles and the Redskins. That's always a dandy, no matter what the record. The Packers and the Jets, Chicago, Minnesota, St. Louis, Atlanta. The Saints against the 49ers. Green Bay at the Jets. That figures to be a dandy. With the Jets unbeaten, the Packers unbeaten, the Jets 2-1. And it was the Jets, by the way, who knocked the Packers out of the playoffs last year. So that might be something to think about. Here's Scott Brunner on first down, going down in the grasp of Al Bubba Baker. That's the first sack of the day by the Lions.
You know, one thing, watch Bubba Baker now. One thing, when you overshift the line to the weak side, that end can play wider. Bubba starts to the outside, then takes the inside move against Brad Benson and got their first sack today.
And John, that seems perhaps insignificant, but when he can play wider, it makes it a much more difficult job for the offensive tackle.
That tackle doesn't sleep too well on Wednesday night.
Draw play to Butch Wolfolk. Butch barrels outside the 30 to about the 32. Hit down by Jimmy Williams.
This is a good thing to run after a sack. You know, you start off, now the rush feels confident. You let them rush on a draw play, invite them up the field, then you hand on a delay to your running back, and the linebackers have dropped off, and there's a big gap in there.
3rd and 4. Missler goes in motion, 85. Offside against the Lions, I'm sure. Bruner throws high over the head of Butch Wolfel. Stan White was the closest Lion, but the Lions, I believe, jumped offside.
I think so. It looked like it was William Gay jumped offside. Got a little early start on that. You know, that's one of the things. Now, that'll give the Giants a first down, and I'm sure that's one of the things that drives Monty Clark crazy, because, as we said earlier, he's so interested in precision. You have him 3rd and 4. You jump off sides. Look at him there. I don't know if
encroachment, 79 defense, first down.
It was William Gay. It was that magic word, encroachment. And it's a first down, Giants.
And it was an upset Monty Clark on the sideline.
Indeed. Line of scrimmage, the Giant 37. Lions leading 6-0. Wolfel. After this, we'll have the 2-minute warning, and the clock will stop at that point. Hector Gray came up to make the stop. Gordon King slow getting up. He had a hip pointer going into the game. There was a lot of doubt about whether he'd be able to play or not, and now he limps back to the offensive huddle, looking to the sideline, but it looks like he will stay. 6-0 with 2 minutes to go in the first half. Detroit leads.
Of all the economy cars in America, many have front-wheel drive traction. But of all those front-wheel drive cars, only these 4 have a flat engine profile with an extremely low center of gravity for outstanding handling and traction. And every single one of them is a Subaru. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
Some special Christmas gifts from Radio Shack.
Hey, now those are for your cousins.
Exciting, safe, battery-powered toys. There's a sturdy Fire Chief's helmet with flashing light and siren, and 3 authentically styled vehicles, easily programmed for 6 different driving maneuvers, including straight, zigzag, circle, or square.
These are for your cousins, remember?
Exciting battery-powered toys, $6.99 and $7.99 each. Only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
Pat Summerall with John Madden at the Silver Dome, the site of last year's Super Bowl, Super Bowl 16. Looks just the same, John. Different teams.
Well, they don't have as much decorations, as many decorations on the field. Remember, they had all kinds of stuff out there for the Super Bowl.
Special coin toss by Bobby Wayne and all those things. Shotgun.
Not as many people hanging around.
Here comes the blitz against that shotgun. Bruner reads it, throws it. Perkins broke the pattern. Bruner thought he was going deep. Perkins broke to the sideline.
There goes linebacker Gary Cobb, who injured his knee and ankle earlier in the game, and they'll probably check him, maybe take an x-ray at halftime and decide whether he'll be able to play or not.
Bubba Baker now comes out on 3rd and long. That's the situation where normally he would be in there. The Giants' last 4 possessions, you see. But Bubba has aggravated an injury, and Gay is now the defensive right end. Benson blocking on him. Bruner throwing. Throws behind, interference penalty intended for Perkins. Penalty marker down. Bobby Watkins, the defender. That was a penalty that didn't have to be.
Let's see if we can see the penalty right there. Again, the rule is that the defender can't touch the receiver beyond 5 yards, and he can't touch the receiver when the ball's in the air until it gets there. Looks like Bobby Watkins may have been a half a step early.
19-yard pickup by the Giants and a first down on that penalty.
Pass interference, 27 defense, first down.
Bobby Watkins is a good corner. He's a rookie, and we see him right there. He really has good coverage. He's step for step, He may have just had a little contact before the ball got there.
If the pass had been thrown where it should have been thrown, there would have been no penalty. Woolfolk goes in motion. Brunner steps into the pocket, has a hand on him, and that causes him to miss Butch Woolfolk. Baker was the man with the hand.
Looks like that aggravated groin injury is okay for Bubba Baker on that play. I'll tell you, that is real pressure. You know, he's coming from the backside of the quarterback as we watch Brad Benson blocking here. He's very strong. He gets Benson going backwards, and that's the toughest pressure when it comes from the back of the quarterback. Anything that comes from his right side he can see and feel. The backside he can't see nor feel.
2nd and 10 from the 44. Griff Chapman, the lone setback. He steps up to block a blitzing Stan White. Intended for Perkins. Brunner had to throw early. Had he not, Perkins was open.
Right now, the Detroit defensive line is really asserting itself, and I think those last couple, really, those incompletions have been caused by the rush of this defensive line.
It'll be 3rd down and 10 now with 1:38 left first half. Ball still at the 44-yard line of the Lions. Detroit leading 6-0. 2 field goals by Eddie Murray, one of 46 yards, one of 44. Brunner now operates from the shotgun. Stan White, of course, calls the Lion defense. Here comes that blitz again. Giants pick it up. Look out. Pass complete to Missler. John Missler comes up with the ball. They say now incomplete. Wayne Smith back there with him. I hope we have to have another look at that.
Let's watch this. You know, all during the strike, Brunner and Missler worked out together. And we see the timing pretty good here. Now as he steps up, ding, he gets hit right there. But he really throws a perfect pass. Outside, deep. I think the same thing happened. I think the ball hit the ground.
Same thing happened with the pass that earlier occurred with Dexter Bussey. This time it goes against the Giants, and now we'll see our first look. We'll have our first look, I should say, at Dave Jennings aiming for the sideline. Rips it high. The Lions will let it bounce, and it bounces for the Giants. They'll down it at the 3. 41-yard kick, effective 41 yards by Jennings. Gary Danielson, the backup quarterback, if that's what you can call him, on the sideline. Coming up at the half, by the way. Of course, we'll go back to our New York studios with Brent Musburger and the NFL Today. The legends of the game, Sam Huff, who just got his Hall of Fame ring last week, and John Madden's good friend, John Robinson, live in our studios. Robinson will be on the West Coast. He will be live. He'll be on the West Coast, and Musburger will be on the East Coast.
He'll be live from the West Coast to the East Coast.
Right.
And everywhere in between.
Eric Hipple for Nichols. Batted up and away by Terry Jackson. Incomplete.
Well, the Lions have the lead here, 6-0, and they're backed up on their own 3-yard line. They're not satisfied with that 6-0 lead. You would think that maybe they would just run out the clock, be happy with that, good at halftime, but they're still opening up, trying to get a deep one.
And both teams have all of their timeouts left, so if another pass should be complete without a first down, we'd see the Giants start using some of those timeouts. They should get the ball back. If they don't make that first down, in good shape. Here's Hipple to Sims. Sims gets out of the end zone with his own athletic ability, is finally taken down at about the 5 by Brian Kelly. And now the Giants take that timeout.
They take one timeout now. There's a minute and 1 second left. And I'm sure that if Detroit runs again and doesn't get the first down, that the Giants will take another timeout. Go for a block, and then try and get a score here before halftime.
We'll be back with more action after this message from the National Football League.
I'm in the same league with Joe Montana and Ken Anderson.
When your kids join the NFL Super Pro Club, they're in the club that's part of the NFL, and they get a lot of surprises through the year, like the official Super Pro ID card from their favorite team,
And this T-shirt transfer.
the NFL Trivia Book,
Decals of their favorite team. Newsletters full of inside information.
their favorite team's photo,
Bengals. Niners. The great NFL Fun Book. Touch Football Booklet. Sideline Saucer.
an NFL standings board where members can track their favorite team to the Super Bowl. It's all worth much more than the $6 membership fee. Your kids will love to join. Send name, address, name a favorite team, and a $6 check or money order to Super Pro, Box 9000, Trenton, New Jersey, 08650.
And your kids can be in the same league with us.
The preceding message was furnished by the National Football League.
While we have a second, I'd like to say hello to, in good health, to Bob Reynolds, who has broadcast the Detroit Lion games for 31 years. He's only missed 2. This is the second one. Bob was hospitalized after the game against the Bears last week. We understand he's doing well, and he's a longtime friend of mine, and I'd just like to say hello and good wishes. Hipple struggles to get out of the end zone. George Martin is all over him. It'll be 4th down, and let's see if the Giants don't use another timeout.
I'm sure they will, right? They've stopped the clock with 53 seconds to go. Now they're in pretty good position because after the punt, the clock again will stop at change of possession. So they'll get the ball around midfield with no return, and then they'll have 1 timeout left and 50 seconds.
John, in this situation now, when you have them backed up, you have this time left, you're coaching. Do you try to block it, or do you try to set up a return?
I would go for the block for a couple reasons. One, if you block it, you get a score. 2, you make the punter rush the ball out of his end zone. And 3, if there's anything wrong with the snap, if it's bobbled or a little low, you have a man on him right now. So that's why I would rush it. The other possibility I always wanted to do as a coach is if you fair catch, then you get a free kick. They could do that, but I think 50 seconds may be a little too much time.
Skladany standing back 8 yards deep in the end zone. Leon Bright standing in Lion territory, and they're not going to try to block it, it doesn't seem. Now they back 2 people away. Pittman on the left. Bright standing back at about the 48. Skladany has time. It's off a bomb, a rocket. Chases Leon Bright all the way back to his 40, drops the ball.
That was a great kick by Skladany on that one, but that's one of the reasons that I never like to give a punter time in the end zone.
59 yards, he rooted that one. And now all that strategy and all those timeouts might turn out to be naught, because they have the ball now at their own 41-yard line. 36-yard line. I missed it by 5. Such a punt, I couldn't believe it. Shotgun formation. This is Missler in motion, and Bruner takes the snap. Bruner deflected. Good rush by Detroit.
That time it was Dave Purifoy. Those defensive ends, Purifoy that time, Baker from the other side, are really giving a lot of pressure to Bruner. Let's watch this now. He's in the shotgun. Baker's coming from this side. Purifoy will come from the left of your screen, right there. And we see that Bruner didn't have a chance. Just as he was throwing, he got hit. And there's no way the ball will go anywhere.
They line up very wide. Of course, remember again that Gordon King is hurt. Benson is playing against one of the league's best pass rushers. This time it's Purifoy again. Bruner gets away from him. Chased by Purifoy and Baker. Bruner throws down the middle to Woolfolk, and he'll have almost a first down, about 9. Stan White hurled him backwards. Giants have 1 timeout left.
Let's watch this again. Of course, it took a lot of time. There's only 18 seconds left. But what? From the right-hand side, Purifoy right there grabs Bruner All he got was a little jersey. Bruner scrambles right, turns, rolls back to the left, finds Woolfolk in the middle. There he is, looking back, shoulder pad hanging out, rifles it into Woolfolk.
With bad pad.
It was a good pad, it was just hanging out.
Right, I'm sorry. They used their last time out. So none left for the Giants. 3rd and 1. Line of scrimmage, their own 45, just outside that. The Lions leading 6-0 as Scott Bruner goes over to talk with Ray Perkins and company.
Of course, he has a 3rd down and about a yard to go. Now, what they have to do is they can't complete a pass to the inside because time will run out. They have no timeouts. So they have to be able to complete a pass to the outside so the receiver can get out of bounds. I'm sure Scott Bruner is saying that to his team right now.
At the half, once again, the NFL Today, the legends of the game with Sam Huff. And the Giants right now operate from that shotgun, 3rd and short. The pass, as John Madden said, should go to the outside and does. And Cliff Chapman can't hold on to it. 13 seconds remaining, and that will stop the clock. Lions played that, although Chapman was open. Their linebacker was between Cliff and the sideline.
Now it brings up a 4th down. It looked like Scott Bruner thought that they were going to punt the ball. He started to walk off, and Ray Perkins waved him back and said, no, it's 4th down. There's only 13 seconds. Let's go for it. See if we can get a 1st down. No, let's not go for it. Come on off. We'll send the punting team in.
The Giants have no timeouts. The Lions have 3. Jennings might do a little running around back here. Just depends on what the Lions do as far as a rush is concerned. Looks like they're trying to set up a return. Gary Shirt walking back and talking to Dave. Good kick. Good kick. Robbie Martin was the Lion deep. Ball goes out of bounds with 5 seconds left to play. 42-yard kick, no return. Now the Lions will probably just say, it's time to kneel.
You know, last week the 49ers had a fake kneel play. And what Joe Montana came back, knelt down like he was going, or faked a kneel down like he was going to run out the clock, stood up, and threw a deep pass for a touchdown.
Not necessarily a very popular play with the Cardinals. Philadelphia, Washington, Green Bay Jets, Chicago, Minnesota, St. Louis, Atlanta, New Orleans, San Francisco. Next Sunday on CBS. A lot of great matchups. Hill goes in motion. Hipple gives to Dexter Bussey. And Bussey spins and twists, and that'll take care of the first half, or should at least. And indeed it does. Detroit 6, the Giants nothing, 2 field goals. Both by Eddie Murray. There's Monty Clark, the Detroit head coach. Murray. Eric Hipple, the quarterback. Murray from 46 and 44. And that's all the scores.
There's been a lot of talk about the effects of the strike, and a lot of it is physical. I think we're seeing today not maybe as much physical, but a lot of it's just consistency.
6-0 Detroit.
If you think the U.S. ski team works hard in the winter, you should see how they spend their summers. We're Subaru, official car of the U.S. ski team. And thanks to on-demand four-wheel drive, we keep pace with them every step of the way. In fact, this team is no place for anyone or anything that doesn't have a lot of drive. Subaru, official car of the U.S. ski team.
A lot of business systems promise to save you money managing your lighting.
Just follow the phone lines.
And save you money controlling your air conditioning.
Follow the phone lines.
And even save you money on your heating.
We're following the phone lines.
But consider energy management from Bell.
And this system operates right on your existing telephone lines.
It's part of a dimension system, so it not only saves up to 20% a year on energy, it saves on installation too. The knowledge business.
I need that package of slides for a major presentation tomorrow at 10:30 a.m.
You got it.
Not noon, not 3, 10:30 a.m.
You got it.
Listen to me. No slides, no presentation.
You got it.
Well, where is it?
You'll get it.
Next time, send it Federal Express. Now Federal schedules delivery by 10:30 a.m. So when we say you got it, you'll get it.
Coming up on CBS Sports, a Thanksgiving weekend of college excitement. Tomorrow, the Oklahoma Sooners and the Nebraska Cornhuskers battle it out for the Big 8 championship. Saturday, the NCAA basketball season returns as defending national champion North Carolina musters memories of victory to face Missouri. And then a classic college football rivalry. The Fighting Irish meet the Trojans. It's Notre Dame versus USC. A holiday horn of plenty here on CBS Sports.
Again, a very happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And Jimmy the Greek, 3 giant turnovers, down 6-0. Can they come back?
Listen, I'm worried about these flowers here. I think they're trying to bury us or something.
They wouldn't do that to you, Greek.
No.
What about the Giants? Have we buried them in the first half?
I'll tell you what. 3 turnovers. They're only losing 6-0, so they got to have a shot. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah, let's face it. That's right. I have a question for a college football question. Why is one of the greatest college football coaches of all times, John Robinson, retiring at USC?
Yeah, isn't that something, Phyllis? Here's a man at the top of his very profession going to step out after the Notre Dame game. Rather than me answering it, Phyllis, let's ask the coach, John Robinson. He has just finished practice with the Trojans out in Southern California. And, John, it's an excellent question that Phyllis poses. Why have you decided to walk out while you're on top right now?
Well, Brent, I think there are basically 2 reasons. One, I've been coaching for 25 years, and I've loved every minute of it. My last 7 years at SC have been really, really great for me. But coaching is a limiting lifestyle, and you get to the point where you think, hey, there's got to be something else that I'm interested in doing or want to do. I think, secondly, my commitment or involvement at USC, I think, kind of transcends just athletics. This is really a great university and on its way to a vast improvement over the next years. The job that I'm going to have is going to be very much a part of that, and I'm looking forward to that.
You know, John, there are always rumors about you. In fact, I've probably started a couple of them along the way. But is there any chance that you would become specifically the head coach of the Los Angeles Rams next season if they were looking for someone to replace their present staff?
No, and it seems kind of ridiculous to me to get out of football to find another way to get back in. No, I'm for at least the next number of years in my life finished with football. I'm looking forward to the job I have. It's a significant job, and I'm going to try to take care of that.
John, what about Saturday's game against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame? How are the Trojans coming up to that one?
Well, I think we're excited about it. It's our team's last game, and I think we are looking forward to it very much. Notre Dame, USC, one of the great rivalries of all time, and it's one of the crazy rivalries. Some of the games have been the weirdest games you've ever seen, and this one could be very exciting.
Did you really tell the kids to go out and win one for the fat man?
Well, when you start doing some of these things, a lot of people try to take it too serious, and it isn't that serious. I'm just one of the seniors going out, and and we kind of arrived at a theme. No, that's a good enough theme. Win one for the fat man. We're talking about John Madden, of course, when we say that.
John, I really want to ask you a philosophical question about the state of college football, because I know you care so very much about the sport. What kind of condition is the game in today? We hear about different schools going on probation. You yourself have faced that penalty, but how do we look down the road at college football? How would John Robinson view it?
Well, I think it's about to enter into one of its best periods. The presidents of universities all over the country are getting more involved, which I think is their accurate thing. I think there are so many constituencies in college football, all a little bit selfish, that have been pulling it in different directions. I think when the leadership of our universities become more involved, I think we're going to have a better thing. But there are problems in every institution in our society. There's an awful lot of great things about it, though.
All right, John, congratulations on your next step. And I'll tell you, we're going to miss you along the sidelines. You were a definite credit to the game of college football.
Well, I enjoyed it. Say hello to John Madden for me.
All right, thank you. So another reminder, of course, that you will see John Robinson on Saturday against Notre Dame right here on CBS. And I suppose I should point out that we've also got a big one tomorrow, Oklahoma and Nebraska for the championship of the Big 8, a trip down to the Orange Bowl. We will continue with the NFL today after these messages from your local stations.
This is CBS.
When the New York Giants made the playoffs last season for the first time in 18 years, most of the credit went to their strong defense. To veteran Giant fans, that was a new wrinkle on an old story. The great New York teams of 2 decades ago also won on defense, and one player in particular captured the imagination of Giant fans. That was linebacker Sam Huff in one of Irv Cross's Legends of the Game.
The year was 1959, and the subject of this first ever network feature on pro football was the game's very first defensive superstar. Your host is Walter Cronkite.
Today you will play pro football, riding on Sam Huff's back. We've wired him for sound with a tiny transistorized radio transmitter. The transmitter is embedded in his pads. The microphone goes in front. You're on the receiving end, and you're going to be closer to pro football than you have ever been before.
1, 2, 3. What do you do that for, 88? You do that one more time, 88, I'm going to sock you one. Now, don't do that. You run again, you get a broken nose. Don't do that. Hit me on the chin with your elbow.
Sam Huff came to New York from the coal fields of West Virginia. A brawny, big-boned country boy whose rugged style took Yankee Stadium by storm. He was the most celebrated defensive player of his era, a genuine media-made legend. But as a 21-year-old rookie lineman arriving at his first New York Giant camp, the great Sam Huff had his problems.
You know, it's the first time I'd ever really been away from home, and I was homesick.
Let's go.
Truth of it is, I think they were going to cut me because I was too small to play defensive tackle and didn't like to play offensive guard. And Tom Landry, who played for the Giants, was now a defensive coach. He coached the defense, and he put together the 4-3 defense. And we only had 33 ball players at the time. And he said to me in training camp, after the regular middle linebacker, who was Ray Beck, got hurt, he said, "Sam, have you ever thought about playing linebacker?" I said, "We'd like to try you there." I'll tell you, Irv, it was like I was born to play the position. And I never gave up that job.
For 8 years with the Giants and 5 more with the Washington Redskins, Huff was one of the finest middle linebackers ever to play the game. His reward came this past summer when the man who made him a linebacker introduced him at the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
It's my pleasure to present to you, for his induction to the NFL Hall of Fame, a great football player and a close friend, Mr. Sam Huff.
His bust will stand forever in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but fame and recognition haven't changed him. For deep inside, Sam Huff will always be a country boy from West Virginia, a hard-working coal miner's son who went to the big city and became a hero, a man whose love for pro football gave the violent world of Sam Huff a happy ending.
It's a rough game. It's for the men, not the boys. But I've got no complaints. Pro football's been real good to me.
What was our old buddy Walter Cronkite doing talking about sports figures? I thought he was into news.
You're too young to remember the old 20th century
don't ask the year.
show.
Don't ask the year.
Actually, Phyllis, that show, one of two turning points for professional football. Johnny Unitas and the Colts beating the Giants in sudden death was number one, and then defensive football, Jimmy, was Cronkite's piece when they put that wireless mic on Sam Huff. A lot of good middle linebackers.
There sure were. Smith of Detroit, Joe, George from the Bears, you remember him?
Oh,
he
sure
just
do.
passed away, I think, last couple
very
months ago.
tragic automobile
They were
accident.
great. I mean, we're talking about great. Huff played some great games against the Browns, you know, and he'd always be one-on-one with Jimmy Brown.
Exactly.
And I tell you, they were fabulous years. I remember those days.
Jimmy, how about let's remember the first half of this one for everybody. In case you checked in late, we will show you some of the highlights. And again, the Giants have been plagued by turnovers so far. They have turned the ball over 3 times against the Lions, and their offensive assistant there, John Bruner, of course, who is the father of the Giant quarterback, Scott. Now here, Scott is intercepted by Gary Cobb, but as the Greek pointed out, Cobb later left with an injury, and that could be a key factor in this game if Ray Perkins can exploit it. Now, in the second quarter, Scott Bruner went to Johnny Perkins, number 86. The Giants had something going, but Perkins fumbled. In the second quarter, Bruner's second interception. This one was picked off by number 59, Jimmy Williams. So that is how we stand at the half, 6-0. And Jimmy, I have to ask you, going back to the second half, all of us have been talking about the possibility of the players leaving again next week. You have some very strong feelings about whether or not they're going to ratify the new contract next week. How do you look at it?
I said it was 20-1 last week that they would. I'd say now it's 500-1 that they will be ratified. There's
Jimmy,
no
is it
question
true
about
that they will not get the bonus money unless they ratify the contract, or is that just an idle threat?
That's an idle threat, I think. They're going to get that bonus money regardless of what happens.
All right. Let's go back to Detroit now. Pat Summerall and John Madden.
Brent, thank you very much. And on the subject of John Robinson, I think anytime a man of that magnitude, of that coaching intelligence, leaves the sport of football, you have some regrets and some afterthoughts. And, of course, as we said before, John Madden and he were such close friends. What are your thoughts about getting out at this point?
Well, I think that John feels now, like I did a few years ago, that John coached this game for 25 years, and he did an excellent job. He was a great assistant coach. He was a great head coach. And at some point in your life, you just realize, you know, there's more to life than coaching. There's some other things out there that you may want to do and see, and that's what he's going through now. And I would just like to congratulate him on his great career and wish him the best.
Perhaps no one in the history of our game, in the game of football, has made the transition from coaching. It would be hard to say it's real life, but to our business, any better, more adequately than John Madden has. And as a matter of fact, there is a football game going on. The Detroit Lions do lead the Giants 6-0. I'd like to, if I may, get your impressions of the first half.
You know, as I was saying at the end there, it seems like, you know, we've talked about the strike and the effects of the strike, and everything had been pointed towards the conditioning. But what I think we're seeing today is lack of timing, lack of consistency, not really being able to put anything together.
John, you know, we mentioned earlier when we talked about the advantage of playing on Thanksgiving Day. Now these two teams and 4 teams, as Cleveland and Dallas will play later on today, have a 10-day rest. And I would have to think if there is indeed a stretch run, that would be an advantage.
Well, for the winning team.
Right.
I think the losing teams, if the Giants lose, they're 0-4, and for all intent and purposes, they could be out of it today. I think, but that team that wins, Detroit, for example, could be 3-1, and they'd be in great shape.
How many victories do you think it's going to take if the playoff situation stays as is? Do you think a 5-4 record would get you in?
I think a 5-4 may get someone in, but I think if you really wanted to be sure, you better shoot for that 6-3.
The teams that are 3-0 now, like Green Bay, like Washington, like the Los Angeles Raiders, are in pretty good shape, huh?
In great shape.
So we'll continue with the second half of this broadcast, which the Lions lead at this moment 6-0 on 2 field goals by Eddie Murray. In a moment.
This is it. Excitement. This is your chance to get 10.9% financing on 100% pure driving excitement on all 1982 Pontiacs. 10.9% on Firebird, Pontiac 6000, T1000, Phoenix, J2000, Bonneville Model G, and Grand Prix. Excitement. But hurry. You must take retail delivery between now and December 31st to get this low 10.9% financing. At Pontiac, we build excitement.
We always run faster together. Maybe it's the baton. Maybe it's the way we push each other.
Bring out your best, otherwise alive. Bring out your best, otherwise alive. Bring out your best.
The best never comes easy. That's why there's nothing else like it.
This is an arcade game. This is the new Atari Super System. Arcade, Atari Super System. You may like the Super System better. It has some of the best arcade and sports games and plays every Atari cartridge. It even does something no arcade game can.
Telephone! It's Judy!
It lets you freeze the action.
Hello, Judy.
The new 5200 Super System.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Honda. On a drive with engineering quality and value, Honda, we make it simple. Budweiser Light with a clean, distinctive taste worthy of the king of beers. And by Norelco Rotatrack Razor.
The home of the Lions. The Pontiac Silverdome, site of Super Bowl 16, which you saw here on CBS. And we're here for the Thanksgiving Day match between the Giants and the Lions, the 43rd time the Lions have hosted this event. Their first opponent, the Giants. Penalty marker goes down, a scuffle goes on, and penalty markers continue. Now they break things up. Halftime statistics. Let's have a look. Lions lead 6-0. 2 field goals by Eddie Murray. 44 and 46 yards. And Gary Danielson is going to be the quarterback for the Detroit Lions. First half stats.
And we see the Giants threw for 181 yards. Or had a total of 181 yards. Detroit 137. You know, Hipple was 0 for 6 in his last 6 passes. Bruner was 1 for 9 of his last attempt. So that's the consistency we're talking about, and that's probably the reason that Gary Danielson is in there now.
Danielson's year, the year of 82, 68% completions. And he'll try to better that right now as Lawrence Taylor comes after him. He gets the pass off to Billy Sims, and Sims breaks the tackle, gets about 8 yards. Danielson had the perfect play called against that defense. Beasley Reese made the stop.
Let's watch it again. It's a screen. Now, most screens go to the outside. Now, watch this one. Sims is in the middle. He doesn't go to the outside. He sneaks right up the middle, gets caught in there with his lineman, and then gets to the outside. Watch him run with the ball. They say you shouldn't carry it outside. If you have that guy's talent, I guess you can.
He did a heck of a job to get into the picture, to get away from the confusion at the beginning of the play.
He got lost in there with his own lineman.
2nd and 1 from the 27. Scott comes in motion. Danielson gives to Sims. Lion first down. Stopped by Taylor and Van Pelt.
You know, anytime you have a change of quarterback, you're putting a new quarterback in the game, you like to give him a play that you know he'll complete. You like to start him up. Gary Danielson's smiling about it. You know, well, that wasn't a bad play. A little screen, I got it. But you like to start him off with a completion.
He has a different kind of wristband on his left arm from that which Hipple wore.
I wonder
don't know if he has the plays there or not.
I don't know. I wonder if they give them to. I wonder if Hippo gives his plays to Danielson.
There's a lot of competition. I don't know. Maybe Hippo's got his copy and Danielson has another copy.
It's short yardage. That was the time that's what Danielson was laughing about. He didn't have the plays and they were telling him the number. That's what it was.
Third down, the Giants jump. They're offsides. It'll be a first down no matter what. Giants were offside. Monty Clark.
Monty didn't give Gary Danielson a copy of those plays because Monty said that the three situations, short yardage, goal line, and long yardage.
So now he sends Leonard Thompson in with the play, and that's the way he gets him in. If his quarterback doesn't have the right
76
notebook.
defense, first down.
Turnovers in the first half by the Giants. Interception, Lions got a field goal. Fumble, they had to punt. Another interception, they got the other field goal. They lead 6-0. First down, 33. Scott in motion. Danielson under pressure. Pass picked off by Harry Carson, and he was almost gone for the Giants. Which quarterback do you want?
I'll tell you who caused that, though, Pat. Lawrence Taylor did. Lawrence Taylor, watch this. He comes on a great pass rush. Watch, he's right here on the left-hand side of the screen. But watch him here now. He's gonna run over the tackle. Ball to Schuyler. Now watch, he's hitting Danielson just as he's throwing it, and that made him throw the interception to Harry Carson. Great rushes cause interception.
Flat ran over him, as you pointed out. First down, Giants at the Lion 32. Bruner, the quarterback, hands to Woolfolk. And Butch turns up the middle inside the 30 to about the 28. William Gay tripped him up. Turnover's gone in the other direction now. Interception by Carson, caused by Taylor.
You know, that was an interesting thing. We had that graphic up there that showed both of Detroit's scores came as a result of turnovers. And now Detroit has a turnover, and let's see what happens.
It goes back to that message of last year, remember?
You see why the interception is Taylor was coming from that side. Danielson couldn't step up.
Second and 6, wide receivers both to the left, Woolfolk to the right. Some room. First down, Giants, as Woolfolk knocked out of bounds by Alvin Hall, but not before he got the first. Inside the 20, watch.
Let's watch this. Tom Mulledy, the tight end, Gordon King, the tackle. See Mulledy come down, he misses. Good running by Woolfolk. Starts to the inside in that off-tackle hole and then bounces it outside to the sideline. That's what we call an artificial turf cut.
Comparing those two outstanding backs, pretty close. Woolfolk, the deep man in the eye, has it again. Butch gets about 3 over the left side, this time stopped by Doug English. Perkins, Ray Perkins, that is, signaling next play.
You know, Ray told us last week he went in at halftime and he said it was the most upset he's ever been in a locker room at a football team in his life. And he may have had something pretty strong to say today because it looks like he's told the Giants, let's come out and take it right to him, run it right at him.
Second down and 8. Woolfolk goes in motion. Chapman alone setback. Bruner looking downfield, steps up pocket, deflected. Again under heavy pressure, this time from Stan White and James Harrell, and it was Fantetti who knocked it away.
I'll tell you one thing, Detroit has done an outstanding job on defense of putting pressure on Bruner. It looked like first they were playing to run, and now they are really coming. They're bringing blitzes, their defensive linemen are teeing off, really putting a lot of pressure on Scott Bruner.
Their defensive coach, Maxie Bond. The All-American at Georgia Tech and the great player with the Philadelphia Eagles. This is Perkins out to the right. This is Mistler in motion. And here comes the blitz. Thrown behind and well behind. Johnny Perkins, the intended receiver. Bruner is down. Bobby Watkins on the coverage, and here comes Joe Danello. Danello missed earlier from long distance. This one should be easier.
Plus, Bruner. He's here. Now watch him. Jimmy Williams grabs him, throws him to the ground, and he threw the ball behind Perkins. Didn't have a chance.
If I were a coach and I had a soccer-style kicker, I'd make sure he was on that left hash mark whenever he tried. That's where Danilo is now from 34 yards out. Got it. 6-3. Detroit. We have 11 minutes, 6 seconds left to play third quarter in this Thanksgiving Day Classic. And it's the Lions 6, the Giants 3.
This car has been compared to cars more than twice its price. When people see its elegant style, its luxuriously spacious interior, and experience the quality of its engineering, they can't believe the Honda Accord 4-door lists for under $10,000. Which probably explains why it's the best-selling front-wheel drive 4-door sedan in Alabama, Arizona, California, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana.
Bring out your best.
I wasn't drafted till the 7th round. They don't even know my name.
Bring out your best. Budweiser alive. Bring out your best. Budweiser alive. Bring out your best.
The best never comes easy.
Croder, huh?
That's why there's nothing else like it.
Budweiser Light.
Pat Summerall with John Madden. Joe Danilo about to kick off for the New York Giants. Alden Hall. Robbie Martin back deep. High hanging kick. It will be Robbie Martin. They have tried to set up the return to the right. And it's turned upside down by the Giants' Danny Pittman.
He took that blow, Pat, right on his left knee. You said it was going to be a right return. Robbie Martin turned back to the left where he really didn't have any protection. Let's watch it again. And we're going to see the tackler come in and hit him right on his left knee. Look, he's starting to the right. Now he cuts back here. Now watch the hit right on his knee.
Tough shot, and Robbie Martin is still down. Cal Poly. 6-3.
After a long day, it's nice to get into your Accord hatchback. While the outside world admires its elegant styling, you can enjoy the ride. Honda now offers a 4-speed automatic with variable assist power steering that makes driving simpler than ever. The Honda Accord hatchback is so nice to get into, sometimes you don't want to get out.
Honda, we make it simple.
The last thing I want is for my boy to get hurt. So I gave him an Norelco. It treats him with tender, loving care. Doesn't nick or cut like blades can, and shaves his face baby smooth. He loves his Norelco, because it cuts down whiskers like Mark Gastineau cuts down quarterbacks.
Right, Mom. I swear by my Norelco.
I wish he wouldn't swear.
Norelco Rotatract. Tough on your beard, not on your face.
John Madden and I were looking at a picture and a football from the 1934 championship game between these two teams, and things did look a little different. The football particularly.
Football was silver. There was about 20,000 people in the stands.
Billy Sims over left side. Giants think they have the football.
They do.
They do have the football. Brad Van Pelt came swirling out of there. Sims over the left side. Let's see if we can pick up what exactly happened.
Only one back in the backfield. We see Sims. He starts here. Bill Neal grabs at his ankle, but then someone hit him from the outside. It was Lawrence Taylor. Taylor hits him from the outside and jolts the ball out. Let's watch Taylor. He comes across. He works inside. See, he hit Sims from the outside and knocked the ball right out.
So it's 1st and 10 Giants from the line, 18-19. Between those two, Bruner hands to Wolfe. If he gets anything out of this, he'll do it on his own. Confusion between the two backs, the quarterback and the running back. Woolfolk with a play designed to go to the inside, took it to the outside, and as usual, when that happens, things get strung out.
I think we ought to mention here that Robbie Martin's okay. Yeah, Pat, it didn't look like his knee. It was just a little shaken up, and I see him on the sidelines. He's running now.
Bruner down in the huddle. He's gotten the signals from Ray Perkins. There's Robbie Martin, and he does indeed seem to be fine.
Those guys from Cal Poly are tough. You know what I mean? You can't keep them down. Knock them down, can't keep them down.
Where'd you go to school, John?
Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo.
Woolfolk goes in motion. Bruner drops to throw. Bruner under pressure, and down he goes. Second sack. This one by William Gay.
There's John Bruner.
Now you have to start thinking about settling for 3 and not trying for 6. That's what they're doing. Woolfolk. Pass complete, and here comes Dinello with a chance to tie.
And the other thing they did, the ball was on the right hash mark. With that pass completion, it put it over on the left hash mark, as you said, because Dinello missed the first field goal from the right hash mark, and he made the second one from the left hash mark.
From the right side, they're just inclined to come across it and hook it.
Well, they have to hook it a little to get it through the uprights, but they tend to hook it too much.
Bruner will hold 40 yards out for Joe Dinello to tie it up. That one would have been good from 60. Good enough from where it was, and it's 6 apiece. With 9 minutes and 28 seconds left to play, third quarter, it's the Giants 6 and the Detroit Lions 6.
This is the Honda Civic FE running at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The Civic FE is the #1 car on gas mileage. With its 10.8-gallon gas tank, it could run the entire 500 miles at Indy without making a single pit stop, and still leave you plenty of gas to get back home again in Indiana. Some things speak for themselves.
On the CBS Saturday Night Movies, MASH's Loretta Swit is a lady executive in a man's world who must learn the games mother never taught you to survive.
I don't do those things.
Dinello kicked the field goal. If that's a drive, that's how they got the 3 points. They lost 5 yards.
It was a scoring retreat.
And so is this. Hall handles at the 1. To the 19. So Detroit will take over with Gary Danielson still the quarterback. Eric Hipple started the game, played the whole first half. He was 0 for 6. He had down the stretch in the first half, and now Danielson has taken over. Lion first down at their own 20. Danielson has Sims and Bussey. Giants fake a blitz. Danielson throws wide to Leonard Thompson. Thompson scrambles around for a couple. Van Pelt is out there again, along with the nose tackle, Bill Neal.
That's what you call getting down the line of scrimmage. You know, most screen passes we see are throwing to backs in the backfield. Now, that was a screen pass to an outside receiver, Leonard Thompson. Neal and Brad Van Pelt did a nice job of working right down the line of scrimmage.
Thompson comes out. Scott is in. Long Tracy Porter. This is Billy Sims. Sims will have a Lion first down, hit by Bill Courier and brought down by Courier. But the Lions move it upfield. The last time the Giants beat Detroit in Detroit was 1958. Not here. That was at Tiger Stadium.
What was the score?
1917.
Won by a field goal. Who kicked the field goal?
I'm afraid I did.
That Summerall comes through for the New York Giants in Detroit. That's great. That's a long time ago, though.
Yeah, I'm glad I brought it up, though. First down at the 33. Sims again. Up the middle, Neal first there. Van Pelt again. Van Pelt, of course, comes from around here, played at Michigan State. Lost a bunch of weight this week.
No, last week we were talking about how much weight he gained, and I guess I said something that they'll make put a 7 in front of that O, move him in one, and put him down as a lineman if he keeps going that way. I saw him last night in the lobby, and he was on the balcony of the second floor, and he yelled on me that was a dirty trick, but he lost 18 pounds since the strike.
You got to find out his diet. Sims again, Lawrence Taylor on the tackle. And the crowd unhappy with the choice of plays. Danielson looking over once again to the sideline. Here's Lawrence Taylor, and watch that last play.
High formation play. Again, I think Billy Sims is one of those running backs that you have to work, though. And you have to run him. Last week against the Bears, they felt that they didn't run enough, generally, and specifically didn't run to Billy.
3rd and 7, and here comes Danielson in an obvious passing situation. The Giants showing blitz, and they showed it too quickly. Harry Carson hurls Danielson to the ground. Penalty markers go everywhere. Crowd boos because Harry might have been more than enthusiastic.
Because Harry figures if you're going to encroach, you may as well encroach all the way. He started up there, and he was coming in a blitz. He was trying to time a blitz, and he just mistimed it.
And he really encroached.
But if you're going to have an encroachment...
53 defense, 3rd down.
Well, now we got an offsides, but Harry figured if you're going to be offsides, you may as well go all the way.
That seems to be his philosophy. So it'll be 3rd and 2, and not now an obvious passing situation, although I do think he'll throw it. Carson, the defender. Billy Sims, the first down receiver.
Hey, that was a great catch by Billy Sims. Harry Carson was all over him. He may even had a little of his jersey in his hand. Let's see if we can watch that again. Billy Sims can do it all. He runs inside, outside. Watch him. We'll be on the right-hand side of the screen. See if we can see the end of this. Nope, I guess he did have a handful of jersey. I'll tell you, that's what coaches refer to when talking about concentration. Guys grabbing at you and doing stuff and still catching.
And that's the thing that will develop the more they play. First down, Lions. Here comes the rush by Taylor. And you talk about strong, you talk about athletic ability, look at that.
Look like one of those rodeo guys. I'll tell you, Lawrence Taylor didn't start today. He injured his knee last week, but since he's come in the second quarter, he has really made his presence felt. Watch this, blockers don't bother him. The guard's out on him, right through the guard. Grab Danielson, that's enough for that. Whap, there you go, right in the ground.
That's like cracking a whip. You talk about the rodeo guys. 2nd and 19, 2 sacks for Detroit, 1 for the Giants. Danielson drops. This time it's a 4-man rush. This time Danielson throws. And they say no. It's Beasley Reese, who almost came up with the interception, but it's ruled incomplete. Hit the ground. This 2-quarterback situation, there have been a lot of articles in the papers here in Detroit all week long about who should be starting, whether it should be Danielson or whether it should be Hipple. Hipple started. That puts a lot of pressure on both guys, and I think you reduce the effectiveness of both.
And it puts a lot of pressure on the entire team because they don't want to get involved in it. You don't know who's going to be in there. Each quarterback has a different personality, different voice, different count system. It's tough on everyone.
Danielson gets out of the rush momentarily. And now gets up near midfield. Bill Neal put the heat on, along with Van Pelt. 13-yard gain, not enough for a first down.
Bill Neal's all over the field today, isn't he? He's a nose tackle, and again, sometimes they play that nose tackle soft for screen, for draw, and for that type of play, the quarterback scramble. Hold him on the line.
Seems like, as long as I can remember, John, they've always had a quarterback controversy like this in Detroit, going back to Bobby Lane and Tobin Rote.
Bill Plum, that's right, and an awful like the Rams, the Los Angeles Rams. They've had one ever since I can remember. Detroit and Los Angeles.
Skladany back to punt. Or trying to, finally throws the ball away, and the Giants will have it in good shape. Penalty marker down. Intentional grounding is going to be called against Skladany. Yes, sir. Giants get a break. Pete Shaw is the man who caused the confusion.
This is what we're talking about in the first half. When you have a rush on, now watch, the Giants have a rush on. They're bringing 10 men. If anything happens to the kicker, he can't throw the ball. It looks like it was bobbled a little. Skladany didn't have a chance to kick it. He tried to run it, and he tried to throw it.
Number 3 offense. Loss of down. First down.
You know, he just took off with that ball. I don't think it was an organized pass play. I think he just saw the rush, knew he couldn't get away, and couldn't get the kick away, and tried to run with it. He didn't even try and kick it.
No. So it's first down, Giants, 4:55 left, third quarter. Line of scrimmage. The 34-yard line. Bruner goes to work early. Throws outside to Wolfel. Got a blocker in front. Gets down inside the 30 to about the 29. Wayne Smith made the tackle. 4-yard pickup. It'll be second and about 6.
You know, I think, you hate to talk about the strike all the time, but there's no way that they can be off 8 weeks. I'm talking about the whole league and come back and play the same type of football. I know. I read where some people say they didn't look like they missed it, and baloney.
They missed more than paychecks. Wolfel barrels down to the 25. Doug English of the Lions made the stop. The story of the game, take a look.
There's been turnovers. We see that there's been 12 points scored in this game, 4 field goals. Each of those field goals, each of those scores has come as a result of a turnover.
And this last one that gave the Giants possession probably won't go in that turnover column, but it's a turnover and a half or -1 or something.
But it's a mental type turnover, something that really shouldn't happen.
Third down. They need 2. Mulledy in motion. Cliff Chapman over the left side, and once again the dreaded yellow flag falls, and that usually means some sort of holding.
Looked like to me that the left side of the Giant line left early. And in fact, I think that's what it is, a 5-yard penalty.
I think you're right.
Looked like maybe the left guard, Ard and Benson, both jumped.
And Mulledy may have started upfield a little early as well. New York, by the way, has been penalized 5 times. They've lost 26 yards. The Lions 7 times, 66 yards. This one brings it back to where Mr. Bruner will have to air it out.
68 offense, third down.
That's the right side of the line. Watch, it's a right guard, right next to the center. J.T. Turner, yeah, he leaves, but the left side also left before the ball was snapped. That was about 4 of them leaving.
Simultaneous encroachment. 3rd and 7 at the 30. Shotgun formation puts Missler in motion, and here come the Lions. There goes the touchdown attempt. Caught. Penalty marker down. Perkins touchdown. But there's a flag down on the play.
I'll tell you, that was a great throw by Scott Bruner because he had a lot of pressure on him. It looks like it's going to be holding against the Giants.
And a great catch by Johnny Perkins, who made that last-minute adjustment to come back to the inside. John Bruner, Scott Bruner's father. They are on different sides of the field today. 30-yard touchdown pass from Bruner to Perkins, wiped out.
Holding, 58 offense, third down.
Well, they don't have a 58. Here's the catch.
Let's watch the catch. We know that it doesn't count, but we see Perkins up there. He's in tight coverage with James Hunter man-to-man. He just comes back underneath, gets the ball. That's a great adjustment to the ball in flight by Johnny Perkins.
Perkins not wearing gloves this week as he does usually. Third down, 17 they need for a first. Bruner to Woolfolk. Stays on his feet, still on his feet. Finally taken down by Jimmy Williams. Stan White was the first man to hit him. Perkins says field goal. Danilo again. This will be a more difficult effort. And it's from John, the right.
It's from the right hash mark. Of course, it's a little longer.
48 yards out, 49 make it. Bruner will hold from there.
You know he's going to get enough hook on the ball. The problem is getting too much hook on it. Bringing it to the left too much. See how he has to bring it in a little.
High enough. Wide this time.
You're not sure he's going to get enough. He didn't hook it at all. He pushed it.
Tough to make that adjustment from that side of the field. It's 6-6 still.
Disc photography by Kodak. It's changing the way people take pictures.
Picture a brand new world.
The Kodak disc camera advances the film automatically, so you can get the pictures you may have missed before. And it knows when to flash, and can flash again in 1 1/3 seconds. All you do is push one button. The Kodak Disc 4000 camera. Bet you know someone who'd love one.
Picture a brand new world.
About 12 years ago, just after Honda invented the first ATC three-wheeler, we invented the second, and the first three-wheeler race was on. Since then, every major three-wheeler race ever run has been won by one machine, the Honda ATC. But that figures. Just look at the head start we had.
Follow the leader. He's on a Honda.
A lot depends on how you distribute the passes that you complete. So take a look at this breakdown. First, Detroit.
Well, we can see that, they've thrown a lot to the running backs. Of course, that's Billy Sims. Not an awful lot to the wide receivers. Today, they're throwing more to the wide receivers and not one pass to the tight end. In fact, neither the Giants nor the Lions have thrown a pass today to the tight end.
Danielson outside Scott, covered by Haynes. That's a tough place to work against Mark Haynes. Rare that you hear both coaches pay tribute to one individual, but both Monty Clark and Ray Perkins. Perkins said, if we got one guy we want covered, that's the man I want on him. Monty Clark said, this guy Haynes might be one of the best in the league.
Every week, Ray Perkins says he wants to put Mark Haynes on the best receiver of the other team.
Danielson drops. Giants blitz. Pass complete to Scott. And he is almost cut in half by Beasley Reese. The doctor held on. I say doctor because he is studying and has been for some time to be a dentist. Let's watch it again. We'll see Freddie Scott inside. He's in the slot.
against man-to-man coverage. He makes a little move there up the field. Nice square cut underneath the safety right there. And he got it from Beasley Reese.
First down at the 42, Detroit, 1:45 left third quarter. 1,000-yard receivers. Some great names there. A great one carrying the football right here. Billy Sims will have another Lion first down. That's just raw, athletic, running ability, talent. Mark Haynes made the tackle.
You know, they talk about explosion, running back being explosive. Did you see Billy Sims? You know, the tacklers were surrounding him, getting in position to tackle, and he just exploded right through about 4 defenders.
The president of Billy Sims Enterprises. One of their specialties is running. First and 10 from the Giant 45. Danielson looks upfield, throws to Sims. Taken down after a gain of about 4 by the ever-present Lawrence Taylor.
Another specialty is pass receiving. It's just, usually you like to get a running back on a linebacker. This is a great match. This is Lawrence Taylor against Billy Sims. That's a great matchup. See how Taylor was going for that ball, trying to knock it out there?
Rake it away.
2 fine football players.
Second down, 6 from the Giant 41. Sims this time in motion. He even does at will. Dexter Bussey barrels off the right side down to about the 36. Harry Carson made the tackle, but they're close to a first.
I think one thing we saw Taylor run, we saw Sims run the ball, catch it, and then block. Now watch how Lawrence Taylor, do you see how he plays those blocks off his legs? Just puts both hands, pushes a man down, and right down the line of scrimmage.
You can see why he received all the accolades that he did last year. That's the end of 3 quarters. It's still 6-6.
This Bud's for everyone who's ready for the action when the whistle blows.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser. For all you do. This Bud's for you.
From the furnaces at Ford, it's Mustang GT, the boss for 1983. Hot new styling. New 4-barrel carburetor, a 5-liter high-output engine. The boss, the 175 horsepower Mustang GT. One hot piece of American steel.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Hope today has been a good, happy Thanksgiving Day for you.
We're going to see right here, we're going to see Billy Sims come and make a block here to spring Bussey right through. Yeah, we saw him run with the ball, saw him catch a pass, and then on the third play we see him make a block. Right there, 20 Sims. You see him? He takes Van Pelt out, and then here comes Dexter Bussey. That's doing it all. Running it, catching it, blocking for the other guy.
Good block also on that right side by the tackle, Keith Dorney. Third, short. First, 10. Sims got it.
Sims into the line. For the first down, dropped by Reese.
I think we can see some explosion on this one again. It's just a short yardage play. He only needs about a yard. Watch him. He gets the handoff. Watch, up in the air, off that left leg. He goes all the way up over that mass of bodies in the line and picks up the first down.
And Lions on the move. First and 10 from the Giant 33-yard line. Bussey and Sims with 98 yards already. Now is over 100. Inside the 30 to the 28. Brian Kelly tripped him up. Another 100-yard day for Billy Sims. 103 on 22 carries to be exact. Now he walks off. Doesn't limp off. Walks off. 1981 100-yard rushing games. You see what happened.
It's a pretty good group, isn't it? Dorsett,
like to have them all.
Montgomery, and of course Billy Sims.
14th career 100-yard day for Billy Sims. That is Rick Kane as Sims gets a rest. Or did for one play. Now Monty Clark sends him back in. Danielson saying, let's get things going. Hurry up. Wonder if he ever got that list of plays, Danielson.
It doesn't look like it. I can't see it on that wristband.
The offense today, the totals, very, very even. So is the score, 6-6. Lions in Murray's range already. 3rd and 3. Line of scrimmage, the giant 26.5-yard line. Gary Danielson, the quarterback in the second half. Hipple played the whole first. Danielson with plenty of time. This time, Sims to the 20, 15, 10, 6-yard line. 1st and goal, Lions. Harry Carson tripped him up. Billy Sims gives the Lions 1st and goal.
I think Danielson is raising those 2 arms, Pat. I think what he wants is 2 tight ends. I don't think he's celebrating his completion.
Here comes David Hill, one of them at least.
Let's watch Sims again. He's the halfback coming out of the backfield. He's going to run an in pattern, circle up, come right in here in front of our cameras. Now watch this. When he turns upfield and explodes, I'll tell you, he can gain a lot of yards in a very short time.
Carson had him all the way, and that's just too tough an assignment. 1st and goal. This is Billy Sims. And this is a penalty marker down. He hit the artificial turf at about the half-yard line. Not a touchdown, but the penalty marker is down.
I don't know what the penalty would be on. It wasn't there. It's against Detroit, and it's holding. But there weren't any Detroit blockers in front of Sims. Watch this play. Here it's a sweep. Guard pulls, turns up. Bussey leads. Now watch Sims take off right here. There's just 3 giant defenders that he hurdles, and then hurdles in front of 3 more.
Holding 80 offense. 1st down.
80 offense is the guilty man. That's Ulysses Norris, the backup tight end from Georgia.
Let's watch the dive here and see how much ground he gains in the air. You know, he dove for 5 yards.
He also, in addition to all his other talents, knows how to hit the ground. He falls well.
Yeah, he would get a 10 for that one. You know how the judges flip their cards? 10.
Degree of difficulty. Here comes Ulysses Norris in motion. Here goes Danielson back to throw. Looking. Scrambles away from Van Pelt. He's got some room. Danielson with room to the 10. 5, 6, and out of bounds. 1 yard shy of the 1st down. Mark Haynes over to take a look at him in the eyes and make him make that choice.
Let's watch this. I think we'll see more quarterback scrambling in the second half of all games now, because I think the defensive linemen and linebackers get a little tired. Watch Danielson, not known to be a scrambler, starts to the outside, makes one miss, another one miss. Norris is saying, throw to me, throw to me. Danielson said, no, I think I'll run it and see what I can get.
Saw Courier take a look back. This is the 11th play in this drive coming up. This is Billy Sims. Sims dances past 2. Didn't score, but he got a 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal from inside the 5.
That was a tough one. Watch this. Usually when you get down this close, you don't want to flip the ball. Watch, Danielson turns and flips, and it didn't look like Sims really had great control of that ball before he was confronted by a tackler.
Looking at that marker, John, I thought he got past it, and he did get past the marker, but it's not a 1st and goal. It's 3rd. They already had the 1st before the penalty.
We'll see some type of play pass here. Fake the run and throw. Oh, Danielson's taking timeout.
He never went up under the center. He knew there was confusion from the beginning, and he wanted to make sure. So it remains 6-6. And we'll return to the Silverdome after this word from your local station.
On CBS Sports, the NCAA basketball season returns as defending national champion North Carolina musters memories of victory to face Missouri Saturday on CBS Sports. This is CBS.
The Lions on the move. It's third down at the Giant 4. Third and goal. Billy Sims, by the way, is only the second running back to gain over 100 yards against the Giants in the last 21 games. The other was Wilbert Montgomery of the Eagles. The story of the demise of the defense, perhaps. Danielson looking outside. He throws. Picked off by Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor down the sideline. Don't think he can't run. Lawrence Taylor's going to go and burn them all. 97-yard touchdown interception by Lawrence Taylor. Penalty marker is down. Look at David Hill saying, bring him back. And listen to the crowd.
I wonder where Hill got that flag.
I don't know, but he had time to tie a knot in it.
But all the officials are down on this end, Pat.
Right.
I think if, in fact, there is a penalty on the play, it has to be against Detroit. I think that touchdown counts.
It does indeed.
Pass interference. 25 offense. Penalty is declined. Touchdown.
97 yards. By Lawrence Taylor. Erich Barnes has the Giant record for the longest interception return, set way back in the Cotton Bowl against the Dallas Cowboys.
I'll tell you, there are some defensive players that are great players. They play well. There are some that are great enough or good enough to dominate a game, to win by themselves, and that's the type of defensive player Lawrence Taylor is.
That just about says it all, John. That's the kind of player he is. Danilo with Brunner holding makes it the Giants 13, the Lions 6. Lawrence Taylor. And watch the Rudolph Nureyev of the linebackers in action.
Watch him. He'll come. He's on the right-hand side of the screen. He's out there. Now watch the burst. He gets a jump on that ball, lays out all the way. Now when he had this, we saw that flag come down there. It was all over right here. Let's watch the full play. Danielson is watching the left all the way. He's looking all the way. Taylor knows it. Watch him lay out here, catch that ball on the dead run, and it's not even a foot race. No one close.
And he's got a bad knee. I don't believe it. 13-6, safe in the end zone.
Toyota presents a truck that gives you the feeling.
The feeling that this baby can gut it out.
A 1983 Toyota four-wheel drive truck. If your work takes you where even pack mules fear to tread, Toyota built a truck just for you. A no-compromise four-wheel drive dustbuster. Now, what do you say to this beauty?
Somebody did it right.
What a feeling, Toyota.
Let's see what's on. Okay.
The television of the future. It will have a separate monitor for a brilliant picture. Sound from separate stereo speakers. A separate tuner.
Now it's my turn. Okay.
A system of components integrating sight, sound, and imagination.
Come on, kids. Supper time.
Experience the television of the future today. Profil Trinitron components. And naturally, they're from Sony, the one and only.
Perhaps a bit out of breath and still checking for penalty flags. Pat Summerall with Johnny Madden. Johnny Madden. Danilo fires a rocket deep into the end zone to Alvin Hall, and he stays with good advice from Robbie Martin. It'll be 1st and 10 Detroit from their own 20. The Giants 0-3 coming in. The Lions 2-1 coming in.
You know, the story of this game has really been turnovers and the result of the turnovers. Every score in this game has been a result of a turnover. The Giants are giving Lawrence Taylor a breather here. They have Byron Hunt playing for him. After you run 97 yards and you get a touchdown, you deserve a break.
Especially after an 8-week strike. 1st and 10. This is Billy Sims over the left side for a couple. Just checking records. That's the longest interception pass return in the history of the Silverdome. The 97 yards just then by Lawrence Taylor. The longest in Giant history, as I mentioned before, was by Erich Barnes in 1961 at the Cotton Bowl, 102, and 101 by Henry Carr in 1966 against the Los Angeles Rams. They were all the way. Here's Danielson. Over the head of Billy Sims, almost picked off by Brad Van Pelt.
Looks like Van Pelt is a lot quicker this week after losing those 18 pounds, doesn't it? I think he heard that they were going to move him inside and put him down. He said, the heck you are, man. I'm going to get back to linebacker size. Look at him. Svelte.
Brad, of course, was a great baseball player. He almost signed as the #1 draft pick by the Cardinals.
That'd be a good... He needs a nickname. You know, Brad Van Pelt just doesn't seem like a linebacker.
Well, he's already got 3 names.
Svelte Van Pelt.
That's not bad. Billy Sims tripped up quickly by Byron Hunt, who has replaced Lawrence Taylor.
Hey, the fans are really booing now. They booed Hippo, and they got Danielson, and now they're booing Danielson. Let's watch it from this angle. It's a screenplay. See, they start the block, then they let the inside defensive lineman go, but the linebacker read it all the way, saw Sims, and there's Byron Hunt before Sims could get turned.
9:40 left to play in the game. Skladany back standing at his own 3-yard line. Leon Bright back deep for the Giants. Giants showing that they might try to block it. Good kick by Skladany. Leon Bright is hit before the ball gets there, and Bright is down. That's 2 weeks in a row that's happened to him. Leonard Thompson, the first man down, and Leonard Thompson is the guy who hit Leon Bright.
I'll tell you, Ray Perkins is really upset. We were talking about that last night, and he should be. That is the cheapest shot in football. I said it last week, I say it now. The most unprotected man. He's telling the official now, give him 15, but the guy ought to be thrown out of the game. See, throw him out. He's saying, watch it, watch it. He's looking up. He's unprotected. He can't do anything. The ball isn't even close. They got to do something about that. They want to protect players. They want safety, prevent injuries. Okay, start doing something about that.
That is, as Ray Perkins pointed out last night, the most vulnerable position a football player can be in. The quarterback, yes, he expects to get hit, but when you're looking up in the air like that, expecting to catch a punt, there is no way you can be anywhere close to being aware of what's coming.
Opportunity to make a fair catch. Kicking team, first down.
Leon Bright, meantime, is still down. That's the 4th time I have seen him get hit like that in the last 2 years.
I know, it really, I mean, the 15-yard penalty doesn't do Leon Bright any good.
That could be career.
That's wrong. I mean, there's good play, there's hard play. It's a very physical game, but then there's uncalled for. To me, this is uncalled for.
It isn't like Leonard Thompson doesn't know the rules. He does. They're very much aware of that. In the meantime, Leon Bright is there.
The only great thing about this Toyota, it's just the tip of the iceberg. Introducing the new 4-wheel drive Toyota Tercel wagon. Inside, it's enormous. It switches from front wheel to four-wheel drive on command and gives you the best gas mileage of any four-wheel drive car. The Toyota Tercel, a new standard in four-wheel drive, but that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Tercel!
When I'm not on the typewriter, I'm on the phone. I'm either writing about the sea or seeing about my writing, hurrying for a deadline or a phone line. This helps a lot with the calling card from Bell. It makes calling faster, easier, cheaper, and there's no charge for the card.
If you're on the phone a lot, it helps a lot. To order, call your telephone business office.
I use it everywhere I go. Well, almost everywhere.
Sunday on CBS Sports, NFL regional excitement as the pros dig in with Green Bay at the New York Jets and New Orleans at San Francisco. It all begins with the NFL Today, Sunday on CBS.
This is Leon Bright being lifted onto the board, so he is immobilized to be put on the stretcher, and it is really a sad situation when there is nothing really that you can do about this, except, I don't know what except, John.
Well, of course, they have to do something about it. I mean, they have to, 15-yard penalty is not enough. They have to throw the player out of the game. They have to suspend the player.
This is what Ray Perkins was recommending or talking about to us last night.
As we look again at Leon Bright, he doesn't have a chance. Look where he gets that shot.
It happened to him against Dallas last year. It happened to him against Philadelphia last year. It happened to him last week against the Redskins. And now this is the fourth time we have seen Leon Bright take that kind of shot. It's more than unfortunate. It has to be corrected.
Yes, the question, how many times do you have to see this before it is corrected?
The Giants looking on. An encouraging thing, John, you observed a minute ago as we watched Leon Bright was that he moved his feet.
You could tell that he had upper body pain, but he did move his legs.
The Giants lead with 9 minutes, 4 seconds left to play. The ball first and 10 at the Detroit 45. The Giants 13, the Lions 6. The Lions with their offensive unit getting together on the sideline if and when they get the ball back. Right now it's first and 10 Giants. They badly need, if the playoff picture stays as it is, they badly need a victory at 0-3. The Lions 2-1. This is Butch Woolfolk cutting back inside and cutting back nicely. Stopped finally by Doug English, but a good run by Woolfolk. He has 89 yards and 18 carries.
I'm sure this is a real opportunity for Butch Woolfolk. You know, he played here in Michigan. He's back between, in front of his hometown fans, and of course playing against Billy Sims.
That's Leon Bright in the tunnel. This is Perkins in motion. Second down 4. Woolfolk again runs into Billy Ard, bounces back, and because of that gets only a yard. Word has just come to us, going to take x-rays of Leon Bright and see if there indeed could be any vertebrae damage after that hit. Third and 4. 7 minutes, 55 seconds left to play. The Giants 13, the Lions 6. Shotgun formation. Lions do not blitz. Bruner. Gray. Drops it. Had it. Dropped it. James Hunter, the defender.
Scott Bruner's had a little tough time with that today, Pat. Gray dropped that one on him, which would have been a first down in great position. And we remember early, Johnny Perkins caught one and fumbled it.
So Dave Jennings enters the picture. Dave has punted twice. His long one's 41. He's had no return at all. Robbie Martin back deep for Detroit, standing at the 10. Jennings pointing this time as if he'll kick it to the left sideline. High kick, and it looks like a good one. This one out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Great kick by Jennings.
A cover man on the punt return can go down and catch the ball if there's no receiver there. I think that's what happened. It looks like Beasley Reese was down there.
36 yards is all they give him on the kick. But 36 doesn't tell the story of how effective that was.
Toyota presents a truck that gives you the feeling
that you're one true chopper.
The 1983 Toyota Standard Truck, $59.98. You shopped around, and it paid off. In a truck that seats 3, can be loaded to the gunnels, and isn't afraid to flex its muscle now and then. Now, how do you feel about that $59.98?
Like somebody did it right.
Oh, what a feeling, Toyota.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. The people who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours a happy and safe holiday season.
At the Silver Dome in Detroit, in Pontiac, the home of the Detroit Lions. 13-6, Giants lead. Horace King and Billy Sims, the 2 runners this time, and maybe a yard. Bill Neal, who in fact Ray Perkins said last week against the Redskins didn't play up to his last year's standards, but today all that's been corrected, I think.
Yeah, Ray was saying that last week he was blown out, which meant that they got movement backwards on him. The nose tackle has to stay over that center and take on centers and guards and not get any movement backwards.
And that's what Bill Neal has done today, as he did so well last year. 2nd and 8 from the 5. Danielson still the quarterback. Billy Sims out to about the 8 or 9, and once again it's Bill Neal, who's the first man in white to be there.
And that's what that nose tackle has to do, control that center and that inside running game. He has to be right there. He's big enough to do it.
He'd had some injury problems earlier in the year, and Jim Burt took over. Now Burt has a bad back, and Neal is back in the middle position and doing well.
I think that Neal had almost as much to do with the success of that Giant defense last year against the run as Lawrence Taylor.
Right in front of the offensive center is Bill Neal, down in that hunkered down stance again. Here's Danielson firing up the middle on the bounce intended for David Hill, who appeared to turn the wrong way. And who would you play at quarterback? Hipple was booed. Now they're after Danielson.
I think a coach can only make one change in a game. I don't think you could change back to the guy you originally changed from.
Why, John?
Well, I think once you take him out, that's it for that day. It really destroys everything, and he can't get his confidence back and do anything.
This is Danny Pittman, who has replaced Leon Bright as the punt returner for the Giants. He gets back to about the 48-yard line. Skladany, another good kick. Ken Calicut was the man down to make the tackle. A 47-yard kick by Skladany. 13-6 Giants.
Dan Gurney and his Toyota Supra challenged Pikes Peak. This road has been challenging cars since 1916.
And sometimes it wins.
The peak has curves that challenge Supra's independent suspension and rack and pinion steering.
Holds the road better than some race cars.
Inclines push the Supra's electronically fuel-injected twin-cam 6, the 1983 Toyota Celica Supra. It takes the right stuff to challenge the peak.
And this is the right stuff.
You in a bad mood?
I just hate talking in the morning.
I'll let you shave.
No, stay.
You use Noxzema.
Yeah, Noxzema gives me a great shave. It does something to condition my skin.
It softens it.
Huh?
I can tell when you kiss me. Your face feels real smooth.
Well, I guess it's the moisturizers it.
I hate talking in the morning, too.
Noxzema medicated shave cream. Share the softness.
Thanksgiving weekend on CBS Sports. Tomorrow, Oklahoma and Nebraska battle for the Big 8 crown. Saturday, it's Notre Dame against USC. College football on CBS Sports.
The Giants 13, Detroit 6, 5:55 left to play at the Silverdome in Pontiac. Here's the way the quarterbacks compare today. None particularly outstanding. Bruner, 12 of 26, 2 interceptions. Detroit quarterbacks, Hipple and Danielson, 10 of 25. Rusty, perhaps. With reason, definitely. Perkins goes in motion. Handoff, Butch Woolfolk. Stan White. Fill the hole. Woolfolk got 2, perhaps 3. Ball in the Lions helmet emblem right at midfield.
2nd and 8.
Don't forget, this is not the end of professional football for this week on CBS Sports. The NFL continues with us. Philadelphia at Washington, Green Bay Jets, Chicago, Minnesota, St. Louis, Atlanta, and New Orleans, 2-1 against San Francisco, 1-2, but rolling. 2nd down, Bruner, draw play, Woolfolk. Fumble, Woolfolk gets it back. Still on his feet. And struggles to get back to respectability. William Gay, finally. Woolfolk lost the ball. It bounced backward. Bounced up to him. Clock runs in the meantime.
That was an interesting bounce. Again, it's an artificial turf bounce. Had they been playing on grass, you never see those types of things.
If you're on grass, that one means you're in the mud for a while. 3rd and 12 after that last offensive effort. Lions start to make a substitute and change their mind. Stan White comes out to the right. Missler in the game for the Giants, along with Perkins split out to the left. Shotgun formation, 3 wide receivers. Lions on a blitz. Bruner throws just before he was